get ready to the countdown.
Yeah, ready to do the podcast and Scarlett, or?
No, not really.
What's the matter?
I'm not very well.
What do you mean? Oh, have you still got a cough?
I'm going to be coughing all the time.
Oh, bloody hell, it's live and all, there's no way to fucking take that out, is there?
No.
Alright, so you giving it a miss this week then?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, I'll go and tell the lads then.
Okay.
Right, hope you feel better soon and all that shit.
Thank you.
Just waiting till you get your yawns out and then we can start the live show. Mr. James Logan.
It's going to be happening all the way throughout. Yeah, man. I'm always fucking
Scarlett's
tired.
not here because she's got a bad fucking cough and then we're going to have to put with your yawns now.
That's alright.
Fucking great.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more. The original, the best, the UK porn podcast, hosted by Paul Taylor and Scarlett Gray. Exclusive industry chat all about UK porn. Brought to you by Dusk Films. Sponsored by itsadult.com.
Right, hello and welcome to the UK Porn Podcast. Coming in your ears. I'm saying that every fucking week now.
Yeah, like, I do. I like
Great
it.
that, you know what I mean? You
I'm
can
a
see that
fan.
on a t-shirt, man, can't you? You know what I mean?
I hurry up and get them made.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
still waiting on me fucking
Yeah, I know.
t-shirt,
I'm
man.
being lazy, man. I can't work out whether I want crew on the t-shirt or not. You know, I said nerd pervert crew because we all
Yeah.
meant to be fake porn producers, cameramen and cocks.
Well, maybe just put, like, crew on the back of the t-shirt.
That's fucking genius. I knew I kept you around for something.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, that, actually. You can do two-sided t-shirts
Like you can,
and they
yeah.
double the fucking price and all.
Well, as long as I'm not paying, it's fine by me.
No, I have to pay. That's to come out my business expenses.
Yeah,
don't I?
yeah.
A whole lot, won't we?
So if you haven't heard, we're sponsored by itsadult.com. Of course. What other site will be sponsored? What other site would I send 25k of traffic to? Do you know what I mean?
Hey, they must like that.
That has like other shows shitting their pants. You know what I mean? So yeah, as always, we're here to talk about the adult industry and what's going on and how it's constantly changing. As you probably know by now, we're streaming on all major streaming platforms, including Periscope, YouTube, Smashcast, Phone Live, YouNow, and Twitter on @itsadult and @UK_podcast_team. Fucking, I had to breathe halfway through that.
Just want to ask one thing.
What?
We're back on Periscope, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It went fine last week?
Yep. Perfect.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Well, I know you're worried because, like, obviously we were streaming on 7 platforms, but we're 6 that night.
Yeah.
And it died in the middle of a stream. No, I knew it did, but I didn't tell you that. So you like carried on, not knowing that you're on Periscope. So I do apologise for that.
It's alright.
But yes, last week went perfect.
Good.
So yes. And I would have taught you at the end again anyway when it was too late. If
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Before you nearly missed your train.
I mean,
Remember that?
yeah, I was just kind of saying it so that people know, how we're back on.
I noticed when I was saying fuck with you bye, you were nearly in the kitchen ready to leave. Like, so
Yeah,
was
pretty
the
much.
train due, like?
Like, yeah, it's always due, man. I've got to get back as soon as possible.
Right,
I've got to get back to chill.
Yeah.
You know, you're miles away.
Well, you're chilling now. You're chilling on the sofa. That's
I suppose.
probably why
I
you're
suppose.
on it.
I don't mind coming over.
And
You've gave us a John Smith, so I'm happy.
See,
I'm happy tonight.
that's how you go into
tipsy,
James Logan's heart. You just give him beer.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, and come here then, dog.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's a
Honestly.
heavy one.
Oh, he's fucking heavy. Ruining the podcast. We haven't even done all our introductions yet, and you're still here. Yes, hello. Right.
He wants
yeah.
his introduction.
I know. Right. What? Say hello, Bernice.
Rough.
Yeah, that's good enough, I suppose. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome to the Madhouse. 2 hours of chatting absolute bollocks. Now, I say 2 hours. We overran by 20 minutes last
We did
week.
a bit like...
So that was like, you know, we were like literally you know, well, we're giving people a bit of fucking free, weren't we?
Yeah, pretty
Even though it's
much.
all free, but you
20
know,
minutes of
same
shite.
difference. Basically, yes,
Yeah.
Craig, 20 minutes of extra shite.
Wait.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So yeah, so whatever comes into our head, because you never know what is going to come into our head, we'll talk about that as well, won't we?
Oh, you're here.
Exactly, yeah, well I'm here as well, so you know what I mean. So however you've stumbled across us, welcome, and glad you could join us. And I would say make a cup of tea, or a brew, or get a beer, but like the amount of length of time we end up talking for, you need a fucking flask, don't you?
Yeah, pretty
You know
much.
what I mean? So, you know. Now, obviously, this is the live version of the podcast, and you'll notice that's slightly different to other podcasts, because number one, you can't see us, right? But it's full of digital adverts, right? Now, it'll grow and grow as more and more people want to advertise with us, but you might see the amazing Red Roxy, the highest of calibre in product design and motion graphics, Saucy Peach, another very talented designer. Both of these I've used personally for different parts of my business, and I highly rate them. So, you know, when you see their details flashing up on screen, why don't you give them a fucking shout out and, you know, inquire about some work?
Alright, pretty
I mean,
much,
they did me a microphone symbol with a pair of cartoon titties for this show's logo.
That it did.
And that's going to look amazing on a t-shirt. Do
It
you know
will.
what I mean?
It will.
And we have to wear ours as a t-shirt when we go to London, just to spread the word.
Hey, I'm all up for getting more t-shirts, as long as this one actually has the nipples intact.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. I'm not getting a fucking cartoon titty picture on without the areolas. You're joking, aren't you?
Good.
Fucking hell. So we've also got the amazing web stream, and the fabulous Devon Breeze is now advertising with us as well. So you'll see at certain points in the show, you'll see her links to some of her clips and how you can contact her for various services. And I'll tell you what, she fucking offers a good service, doesn't she?
Yeah, she absolutely does.
Jesus
Like,
fucking Christ, when she sits on your dick, you're hers and you're not fucking getting away, right? It's as simple as that. So if you're a production company or a web designer or, you know, a sex shop chain or a model or anybody and you want to advertise with us, then you can pay our monthly subscription fee to be, you know, shown up on screen over the 2-hour period. You'll be very surprised at how reasonable our rates are. It's not really expensive, and it's, you know, we've got a big traffic boost now.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in some of our sponsorship packages, email dustfilms@gmail.com. Fucking hell. Now I have to say who I am. How long has that taken?
yeah, that took a canny while. Like.
So my name's Paul Taylor. I'm the CEO of Dust Films and creator of Nerd Pervert.
I am James Logan. I am a performer, and that's all I can be asked to say today.
And I'm Craig, and I'm on the show as well.
Right?
See me.
Yeah,
Craig on the show.
doesn't really go out there much. He just like eats his mum's pies and
Let's come round here and just mess about, you know.
mess about, right? Mess about and they might as well say you go cave diving when you come round here. Do you know what I mean?
I just joined.
Or what does the Americans call it? Spelunking.
Spelunking, yeah. Aye.
That it almost sounds like spunking in the hole, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Spelunking. I'm going to spelunk in your fucking vagina. Do you know what I mean? That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? Right, Scarlett sends her apologies for not being here, right? But she's currently ill with a cold. And to be fair, her voice was starting to go last week on the show, I thought, like.
A little
But
bit.
it's a fucking coffin's annoying, to be fair. So, like, you know, you don't want that coming in your ears. Like, while
Yeah,
you're
I
listening to us
suppose.
live. I mean, we've got no way editing the coughs out, and trust us, it's annoying, so you don't want that. So, Scarlett does say sorry and she sends her apologies. And provided she doesn't have a call for 3 months like she normally does, she should be back next week.
Fingers crossed.
So, what have we been up to in this week, gents? What have you been doing? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say what I've been doing after you two.
What?
Because I never say anything. I just ask everybody else. No one cares. No one's ever said, what have you been doing, Paul?
Do you know what? I
cares?
usually jump in after you, but do you know what? I'm also going to wait and I'm going to see what you've been doing, Craig.
What have you been doing? What have you been
We're gonna
doing
put Craig on the spot now. What have you been
last week?
doing?
What have you been doing?
I've been doing fuck all.
Tell everyone about your washer. What's been going on? Because that sounds horrendous. now.
Let's not get back into that.
Messing me about.
What did they do? Send you a broken one?
Sent me a broken one, I had to wait in all day. And then they sent me another one eventually the next day, and then they fucked up the insurance, and instead they insured us for 2 laptops, charged me 300 quid instead of 90 quid for
What,
the
so
dryer.
but the insurance was meant to be for the dryer, not the
Yeah,
laptops.
exactly.
So you haven't bought 2 laptops as well.
We bought 2 laptops, we just didn't want any insurance on them. Because they would come with the house, and the insurance was literally half the price of a laptop.
So what type of laptop have you got? Because if Tips is listening and it's
Oh,
shit, you'll be getting wrong. What's the specs?
Well, it's because normal computer is fucking slow, so I wanted one with an SSD. So it's just one of the Android ones that you can fold up and have.
Wait, it's an
like
Android.
a
Yeah, that's a tablet
it's like
with
a
a keyboard.
Yeah, it's a tablet with you fold it over on the keyboard, and yeah, it's the best one you can sort of get for that sort of price.
Won't be
range.
hard to get the best one for.
Yeah.
But right. Well,
not bad.
I'll tell you what. I wish I'd never fucking asked you.
No,
What have you been up to, James?
Just the usual. I've been doing me usual crack at the sex shop.
See, I'm not being funny. I love hearing about this. Like, you've got the same story every week, but it's always different because of the type of customers that come through.
Yeah, I suppose like.
So what type of
definitely
fucking
get
bell
some-
ends have you had coming through the shop this week?
Do you know what you always put us on the spot with this one? And I find it hard to like kind of remember
Who bought a big black cock
like
and who
kind
didn't?
of mad
Remember
customers
the
I've
big
had
tits come in?
because I always have mad customers. There's too many to pick.
We do work in Newcastle, don't you?
Yeah,
Mental,
I suppose I like mental Geordies on top of
Yeah.
perverts who come in there. I love them. They're absolutely
Well,
fantastic.
they're on your wavelength, aren't they? Because you're
Yeah.
pervert.
Do you know what, right? When I actually got that job, I asked my boss why he hired me. And he was like, well, honestly,
dirty cunt.
no, he was just,
hire dirty.
no, he was just like,
No one else
he was like,
applied.
honestly, I kind of saw you as the type of person who would come in to buy stuff from the shop.
Me?
No, me.
All right. I was going to say.
So I was like,
Right.
oh, okay. So like,
that a compliment?
You kind of see me as
So
like
did you
kind
get
of one
like a
of the
sleazy
regular
vibe
customers.
from you when you went for your interview?
You fucking must have.
That's fucking brilliant.
But hey,
Like that.
he
Well,
picked the
congratulations,
right
James.
person.
We've hired you because you look like a right sleazy fucker.
Yeah,
And we feel like you'll put people at ease when they come in looking like they're fucking gonna molest somebody.
very much like.
Bloody hell. Imagine,
tell you what,
imagine
like-
if you weren't a sleazy bastard, that means you wouldn't have gotten the job.
Yeah,
But you
nah.
said you're not
Do you know
right
what?
fit for the company.
It's
That's
that
a hard interview,
that
isn't
kind
it?
of job. Like you can't be like meek or anything like
No.
that. Like you have to kind of get down on their level and be a little bit
Get down
filthy.
on your knees, do you?
Not quite. Not
So what-
yet,
so-
but
so
I've
when you-
been
when you-
propositioned many times in that
What off
fucking shit.
off like lasses
Look,
and that?
I fucking wish I was
Oh, bro.
propositioned that much off lasses.
You said you were in the gay
propositioned-
area in Newcastle, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right in the gay area.
So what did they say? Like,
have
do you
to
fancy
stick to what
taking us
you
on
want.
the back and that, like, and shit?
Literally word for word that.
Huh?
Yeah, aye. But the thing is,
Was there any
it's-
attractive ones though? Because even though you
Nah,
don't
do you
swing
know
that
what?
way, like, because it's even
Oh,
more
hey.
offensive. No offense, right? When someone gets your sexuality wrong, whether you're gay or straight,
Aye.
and if you're the opposite of the one that you think you are, it can be annoying, right? So, like, but you can still say what a good-looking guy is and what an ugly guy is. At least I
Yeah,
can, without
absolutely.
being into that type of thing. So, like, it's even more annoying if you think you're gay
yeah.
without asking. They just think you are. For some reason, which you don't give off that vibe.
Yeah, no,
and then if
no,
they were
not at all.
ugly as well, it's like, for fuck's sake, at least have a fucking attractive
Right.
one.
So
Fucking want to suck me knob, you
the
know what I mean?
attractive ones, they're always they're a lot more subtle about it.
Right.
You know, they actually try to chat you up in like a nice way,
Right.
and then I'm always just like, mate, like, I don't swing that way, soz. Like, thanks, chatting us up. That was lovely. Like,
was
I will
lovely.
serve you your stuff, but nah, I have a girlfriend at home, and they're always fine. But fucking hell, sometimes I get some proper seedy old, just. Ugh.
Like the ones you'd see in an American TV show to catch a pervert and that.
Aye, basically. And then I'm like, I've got a girlfriend and I'm straight, that kind of thing. And they're
Yeah.
like,
So.
so? I've sucked straight guys' cocks before.
Oh, God, you've hurt his feelings,
aye,
haven't you?
and then sometimes like they've got like
Not straight anymore.
hardly any teeth, that kind of thing. Like, come on, we'll go out to the back. and go on, it'll be dead quick. You'll love it.
You'll have to give it.
And I'm
Can I
just
just
like,
say one
no.
thing though, right? Even if, right, I mean, you probably wouldn't mind it if a girl did it, but even if even if they did, right? Like, why do we think 'cause you're in a sex shop, that's the one shop you can go in where you won't get turned down?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, can you
Well,
see the
like-
mentality?
yeah,
When you think
like,
about it?
absolutely.
It won't be a shock to them, will it?
But they could not do that.
It's like the
another
Shawshank
shop.
Redemption in a fucking sex shop, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
pretty
only
much.
don't do it because you're the only one there, and if you leave the shop, someone will come in.
That is another
Well,
thing.
plus,
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
the
on
only
security
reason.
camera if you let...
yeah, true. I am on security
He's
cameras.
on security
all the time.
camera if a man with no teeth and all gums sucks his cock.
Your manager's watching that to see you going out
They'll
the
just be like, "Oh, he's at it again."
back.
That's why we hired him. Takes care of the customers.
They'll be like, James, in the office now. And you'll be like, oh, before you say anything, right?
Yeah.
And you'll be like, no, we don't mind that you were fucking the customers. But what we do mind is, that's all they came in for. They didn't buy one
Didn't buy
fucking
a
thing.
single thing. Yeah.
Like, at least do it after they bought a DVD. Do you know what I mean? Right, hang on a minute. I'm just going to let him out. Interrupting the fucking
now you have
podcast
to do it.
again, dog.
He's always interrupting.
Now we have
But
to
he's
do
cute.
it, so there's something to talk about next week's show, and we can ask you about it.
Yeah.
I suppose. I'm just
It's
like 2 seconds. I'm going through me voice memos. Do I have customer? Like I got
Give me your
one
number.
time because he was
Are you
taking
going
it
to play
way
someone's
too
voice?
far.
Put near the microphone if you
Yeah, but you know what? It was right at the end, and I don't think there's anything really that bad in it. I'll play it just to see.
Right, listen to this. This is from... Well, that sounds like porno music.
Oh no, that's I think the radio on in the background.
I live in peace. You're a straight world.
Yeah, well, that's just life.
Nervous laugh.
You turn it off now if you want.
Do you know what? I probably will.
Get out of it. You'll wait until I'm gone and you'll put it back on again.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
Oh, he asked us to put some gay porn on. So I did, because I thought he might buy some gay porn,
Yeah, yeah.
but he didn't.
And he thought, yeah, man,
And he was like, oh, you can put some straight porn back on, and I was like, do you know what, I probably will. And now, do I say anything at the end? We've got nearly 15 seconds left.
always like creepy prick.
Well,
at the
that
end.
was the person who
Oh.
came in the last time trying to give us a blowjob and was relentless again. I wish I had fucking started recording this at the beginning of the conversation. Jesus Christ.
So what did you say at the
Yeah.
beginning of the conversation?
Well, no, just like at the beginning, he was like, he came in, he was just like relentlessly trying to be like, oh, come on, like, let's go at the back, I'll suck your cock, like, you'll love it. And I was just like, no. And then I was getting really kind of arsey with him because I was like, look,
Felt
for
like a piece
starters-
of meat, did you?
yeah, I was like, I'm not gay.
Yeah.
But if I was gay,
Give him a piece of
there's
meat.
no way in hell I would ever go out back to like have you suck me cock because you're not me type. Like you're a rude man, blah blah blah, this
He's
and that.
rude.
Because to be perfectly, like I mean, yeah, you don't
very rude.
just say that kind of thing to someone who
you're rude.
works in retail. Come on.
But but this is what I'm saying.
it's
Exactly.
in
You
Primark.
wouldn't go into fucking like Primark
Yeah.
and say that to someone, would you?
Exactly. So I was just like, well, this is ridiculous. Like, he's already took it so far. So I was like, I'm going to record the rest of this conversation just to see how, like, kind of far he goes. But he kind of,
Every week we're gonna have an
he
update.
eventually got the hint and fucked off. But fucking hell.
You need to take screen captions to go with the voice memos off the CCTV.
Yeah, do
we
you know
can-
what?
so we can
I do
put
need to get access.
Names to faces of these creepy cunts.
He comes in
Come
every
in.
week for you now.
Want to suck fucking James Logan's cock.
Do you know what? After that, he's not been in again.
He's
but to be perfectly honest, couldn't give a flying fuck because he didn't buy anything.
Exactly.
He never
And
finds
that,
out.
you know, like,
He just wants to suck your dick.
Basically.
exactly.
Right, so coming up on today's show, we've got Dick Salacious is here again.
You've not even went on about what you've done this past week.
I've been editing porn
That's it. What he does every week.
Ah, okay, fair enough. I suppose you
all
can just.
fucking day, like all day, like literally the new style though that we're doing though.
Ah, class.
So-
See, hey, hurry up and get that finished, and then send it over to me because I do like to watch it.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm just, it's just missing little polishing touches at
Yeah.
the minute. Like I think the main beats is working,
Right.
which I'm pleased about because I don't know why, but 17 years in, you're still amazed when your idea works on screen, when you try something new, because it's like unknown territory again. It doesn't matter how much experience you've got. You're like, ooh, fuck, I don't know about this. So it is working, but I just need something else on it.
Right.
I think I need to watch more YouTube vlogs and see what's missing. We've got the physical human element. We just need the pacier beats.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I'm really enjoying what I've seen so far of it.
Yeah.
And like, I love using this little fucking camera.
Oh,
like
it's mint, innit?
the shots that you can get on it's insane.
Fucking mental,
Yeah,
innit?
it's
I mean,
alright.
you could not shoot many things in Craig's car
Nah, not at all.
with the angles that I was using getting a nosh off it. Like, no way. You know what I mean? It's just fucking absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Right, so Dick Salacious is here with his honest, straight to the point, useful information. The kick-ass tips that will help you with technology and how to utilise your business within the adult industry. So that's coming up a little bit later on. We've also got a sit-down chat with Millie Santoro.
Ooh, Millie.
She's a webcam girl, an adult performer, and can I just say, we love fucking Millie on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millie's great.
And it's not just because, you know, we shot the first ever adult scene and brought her into the business, which Craig actually filmed, her first ever scene.
Lucky bastard.
He didn't get to do anything, no, she was all mine.
Oh.
I got to watch.
But yeah, she's also a dear friend, and she just kicks ass, basically. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Lovely.
So, looking forward to that later on. And we have the Sex Fact of the Week with James Logan. It's a new section on the show.
What?
That is basically just James filling for Scarlett. This is the first time he's hearing about this.
I know.
And I don't know if
I don't
it's got
even
an
have the
iPhone
app.
Oh, fuck, you might have to make something up then.
Oh, fuck.
So, well,
I'm sure I
if you hear
can.
the music to the intro, that's when you've got to start talking.
Alright.
There's loads of bullshit facts though from your job.
Exactly, right, yeah. You could just do a
I mean, I could just make up
James
any old
Logan's
bollocks, couldn't I?
Sex
I
fact
don't
of the
believe
week.
you.
Yeah.
That's all Scarlett does, she just fucking makes it up. You know what I mean? She repeats half the fucking questions that we've had for the last fucking 9 years doing it.
No way.
Well, 9
Kinda.
years with 4 years off.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he inflated that number.
Are you an independent webcam girl or an independent content producer? Even if you're an established brand looking to make sure you're purchasing the best performance to value for your business, check out salaciouscreations.com and let Dick take care of you. His knowledge of technology is from another galaxy.
Yeah, stop buying shit.
So, let's answer a few questions, shall we? Now, there was some popping up on the stream last week, and I was like, oh, remember that.
Right.
It was really good, and I couldn't fucking find it. So I was like, shit, what was it? And you know when you just think, it's that good, I'm going to remember that, and then you just forget. So yeah, so we've cherry-picked some questions from the various stream platforms and emails and DMs and stuff. So we've got one here from James Jensen, who writes, hey guys, great show last week. Why is there so many companies that are no longer around? The UK porn industry is shrinking. I've been a fan of porn for 20 years and I've always bought direct from the people who make it. Some of my favourite companies just don't seem to be around anymore. The porn in the UK just seems to be the small people and girls making porn on their smartphones, which I think is a load of crap. I want the pros to make the porn. That's the way it should be. Love to know your thoughts on this. Bloody hell. Well, I think it's unfair to say that all clip sites and models doing porn is crap,
Yeah, true.
because there's some fucking really, really good stuff out there where
Yeah,
the girls
there
have
is.
stepped up and they've learned about cameras and lighting and editing, you know, enough for a level for what's needed on a clip site.
Yeah, yeah.
Would it be at a production company level? No, but it doesn't need to be. But I think the crap sort of vibes that you get from some of the stuff that's produced is just literally people just aren't trying to learn. So they're just shooting it in bad lighting, you know, sometimes shooting it from the phones in portrait mode.
Yeah.
Right, but sorry, that wasn't me feeling me knackers, that was me displeased now. Because you
that
never
was.
tell on a porn podcast show, you might think.
Still remember the first time I ever filmed anything in portrait and you went mental.
You fucking idiot, you are. That was a fucking test before you got the job, that. You nearly got the fucking name, it didn't happen just because of that. You nearly got thrown out. But anyway, right, yeah, so I think that's a little bit unfair. However, James, if that's your opinion and you do prefer to buy from companies, I can see your problem with not having much variety of choice anymore, because that's the way it has been going, sadly. Dog, will you just sit still? Oi, Ace, come here, lie down. Tell us fucking live, can't you? Yeah, so it must be frustrating for someone who likes to hire, like, polished stuff. But there's still enough out there of that. I mean, it's not as much.
Yeah.
But there's still some bloody good studios out there, do you know what I mean? It's just everyone's doing everything on a cheaper budget because the intake isn't as much. So you can't put your output as much, so everyone's doing everything on the cheap.
Just a lot of the models have
it's about having the IDs and the talent. You can still do a good porn scene, high quality, on a low budget.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to try.
That is true. But, I don't know. What's going on here?
Fucking
Bless him.
Stay. Are you going in your cage? I'm not fucking joking.
Ace looks sad, man.
I know, because he's a little git.
Poor little lad.
So yeah, well, what do you think, Craig? Because apart from you coming on the Nerd Pervert like thing and being in it, yeah, coming all over it and that, right? You know, you're still like technically more of a porn consumer than what we are, I think, because you're still like, obviously, you know, you're not in the show as much as us two, but you still, you know, pop up. So what do you think? Do you think there's not enough professional porn out there? I think he said UK.
I suppose so, but a lot of it's like amateur stuff now, though, isn't it? That's it.
Well, I think the amateur stuff is British porn, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what people do over here.
Yeah.
You know, like amateur used to be an offensive word to people who thought they were better than that, or felt that they put more effort in to not make them an amateur. But it is a chosen style. It's nothing to be offended about. Some people still say my site's an amateur.
I think
site,
no,
like,
it's closer to amateur than like.
Yeah, but I'm not offended by that.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? No, at all. It's like people link amateur with like novice, and it's not.
Yeah, no,
it's
not
two
at all.
different, totally different things. The novices are the Pornhub community videos that people upload.
Yeah.
Where there's copyright music playing in the background, or you can hear fucking what program's on the TV, and there's no performance there. That's what I would say truly is amateur. Amateur, in terms of bad quality amateur, is just couples having a go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right, come on then. For God's sake. Right, turn around. Oh, right, you want James, do you? Right.
Aye. Cost James.
So yeah, are we done on that then? Is that what we think, or have you got anything else to add, anybody?
I don't know. It's just going that way at the minute because models can make more money. I think doing that
internet, isn't it?
with like all of these like clips out, so they're like ManyVids and OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably why they're going less to like the big production companies, because they're making like a pretty penny at the minute.
It's like webcamming as well, isn't it? You can make quite a bit of money doing that as well.
Yeah, that's getting saturated now.
Yeah,
they won't admit it. The girls won't admit it. The ones who advertise saying I'm online now aren't making as much as they used to.
Yeah, alright, there's a lot more.
And if you ask someone like Selena Secret, the American webcam market is on another level. Like, they make more than the pornographers.
Yeah,
and they are a little
it's
mini
like there and then. It's what guys.
sole trader, lighting expert, camera expert, editing expert. They have all the best technology because it really is a fucking business for them.
Yeah.
It's still
you know,
new, isn't it?
A lot of people keep saying, and I'm not dissing adult work as a site, I'm just saying adult work is not the best example of a webcammer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of the other American sites make 10 times more, and a lot of the British girls, the wise ones, are on there making money.
I like
do you know what I mean?
Chatterbait and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I might do that, you know, make a lot of money doing that, but no one wants to watch me.
Well, you don't know, if you've got your boy band wig on, they might. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, so
don't know who would be attracting them.
Another person we've worked with previously on doing some camming sessions.
Have you? How did you catch him doing that?
Just on Twitter, like he always, he's like, I'm on cam now. And I'm like,
well, all I'm going to say to that is, right, he's expressed interest in doing an interview for the podcast.
Oh! I cannot wait. You have to do that.
Yeah, no, but I'm the poor cunt who has to do all the visuals. I'll have to subtitle that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That'll take a long time. It'll be like a fake taxi episode, won't it?
Oh, bless.
Bloody hell. I reckon I'd have to have a week off. That'll be like, so if he's the next guest, then it would be like a couple of weeks later it would air. We'd have
Right,
to have like
yeah.
2 weeks off for me to be able to put the fucking thing together.
Fuck.
Just get a translator.
Yeah, that'll be great, that, man.
So, another email here. Oh, fucking hell. Comic book fan. Frank Castle 567.
Jesus.
Bloody hell. Says, hey gang, have you ever thought of doing the live shows with you all sat at a desk so we can see you? I watch a lot of live shows on YouTube, which is where I found you guys, and some of them have been almost quality of like the TV chat shows. It sounds like you guys are in character, and I just thought I would love to see you guys do it that way. Keep it up. Frank.
They want to see us.
No, it's not that. It's just like, I don't know, like I kind of feel like everyone else is doing that, and I don't like to do what other people are doing. And the point of this is still a podcast the way it always used to be.
Yeah.
I must stress that the only reason why we live now is because of the potential for the traffic you get off the streams you don't get just by releasing a podcast on a website.
True.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only reason why I'm doing it. And I've just utilised the technology better than a lot of other people. Because I've studied it.
Yeah.
And also, the things that you're seeing on screen now, there's advertising opportunities there for people.
Yeah.
And obviously, you could still turn away and not look at the visuals and still enjoy it as a podcast. Nothing's changed about the way we do it, apart from its live streaming. And I kind of feel, I'll tell you what, why don't we do that once we reach our 100th episode of the new show?
Yeah, actually,
We'll just
that
do that.
might be like a good idea. Like, I don't know, like just thinking about doing that, like, oh, I don't know. I feel like that's like an extra nervy thing, just knowing that like what we're because it, like at the minute, you know, behind the curtain, we're just all like kind of chilling on the couch, like
Talking,
doing
basically.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's quite dark. It's very much chilled.
Yeah.
Like we'd have to have
It's like
fucking
not
lights.
enough
and
environment,
all
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
aye.
I mean, surprised we haven't
James
fallen
keeps
asleep
touching
yet.
my leg as well.
Yeah, well,
I'll
and
see
that.
that.
Well,
you know, you
yeah,
get pussies, like, you know what I mean? It's just the customers he doesn't want to feel the legs, man. It's you're different, man.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
We've touched swords.
Ah, you've got no shame in porn. You just
Exactly,
gotta fucking
aye.
go on with it, man.
You like that a bit.
Right, and the last email's by someone called Carolyn Bates, and she says, "Hi, nerd." I guess people call me that a lot. A lot of the models just say, "Hi,
Yeah,
nerd."
but you are a nerd.
I know, but it's just funny, isn't it? It's just like,
Hey,
again,
nerd.
that's my nickname by the
Oh,
girls.
yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing a spin-off series? Oh, fucking hell, she's missing this. Where Scarlet Grey, since she is leaving, goes off on her own adventures. She never did any porn on your show, but maybe that would make it really feel that she had lost out if she didn't get to fuck you. Sorry, read that again. Maybe it would make it feel like you really lost out if she didn't get to fuck you, but then goes off and does it with guys and girls on her own show.
Oh, that copied you.
I think I would be one of the many girls who would love to see her fuck a girl, and I bet there are many more guys that would love to see her doing blow bangs, gambbangs, and all that other means of filth. Please, will you at least consider it? Thanks, Carolyn. Do you know what? I have been asked that a lot
Yeah.
in different ways, because I think people think it's a on purpose thing that she hasn't done it.
Right.
So people always think if it's not coming before she leaves, there's going to be an announcement of her on site.
Right. Uh huh.
The disappointing if he isn't, right? For two reasons. One, I do not have the fucking time to have two, because we are getting like the Marvel Universe then, right? Like that's the same universe spin-off.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that, don't get us wrong.
I bet.
But at the end of the day, it's like she flat out doesn't want to do it. And I don't know why people ask me as if it's my decision.
Exactly.
And it's
Like
up to
you've been
me.
trying for how many years?
Exactly.
To get
Fucking
in that?
8 years. And I'm just thinking like, and I'm not being funny, no other cunt's getting to do it if I don't get to do it, you know what I mean? So like, but it all goes down to, you've got to remember, this is a product, and if members involved in the product do not want to do certain things,
Yeah.
then I can't brainwash anybody.
Right.
I don't know why people think it's up to me, and the only thing that hasn't made it happen is like, oh yeah, shit, I should never do that, shouldn't I? Like, it's
Never thought.
that's not the thing that's stopping the trusters. She just literally, she's ready to move on. She's given 8 years to the show. The character is sort of ran its course on where it goes now, and I think it's just best if we, you know, go in a different direction, but not too much of a different direction now. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel familiar.
exactly, yeah.
And we've been talking about this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
What I've shown of you of the new look, it still feels very nerd
Very
perfect,
much is still nerd perfect.
but still
yeah.
fresh at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'd be funny if it did work and like like she learned from your influence, where she just ended up being like you, where you're just like conning
See,
girls.
Yeah, I don't think it would have to be that though, because she's noble, isn't she? She's always trying to talk him out of doing it. So
Aye.
it would have to be just literally
like proper
now she's at university, she's young, free and single, and she's just going to fucking let her hair down. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you couldn't even call it nerd pervert or female pervert. You'd have to call it just something completely different.
Exactly,
You know, like
pervert.
Better Call Saul was Breaking Bad, but
Yeah.
didn't share the title. Something like that, you know what I mean? So, what has been going on in the wonderful world of the adult industry? Well, the Brittany Andrews directed After Porn Ends 3 documentary recently had its screening at a launch party at Harmony Gold Theatre in Hollywood. Now, I don't know if you've seen the first two parts on Netflix.
I have not seen them.
I didn't really like the second one that much. I just don't think the people who they did the story on was as good.
Right.
But the first one was excellent. So it's all about people who've left porn and what they're doing with their lives now.
All right,
And some of them who've been, you know, they've had to go back because of the stigma of what they used to do.
Yeah, they can't get a normal job or anything.
yeah. Which I still think's wrong. We won't go into that now, but
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, no one's doing anything illegal, and it's discrimination at the end of the day in its highest form. But I really did like the fact that, you know, it was based in the porno Sando Valley of California that you hear about. But it's on Netflix, so if you've got it, I suggest you watch it, especially when you're in the business. It'll be a hell of an eye opener.
Yeah.
And you'll notice even as early as the first film, it's still everyone's starting to go low budget.
Right.
They're shooting in an apartment on a sofa, and the audition casting videos, which obviously, you know, I don't want to say criticise, because I think it's quite a good criticism, that when we get reviews in America, they say about us that it's nothing that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Because the fake casting agent has been done hundreds of times. However, it's got humour, a bit more character depth, and it takes it in a different direction. And it doesn't start with someone knocking at the door going, come in, and the guy's face is blurred out. This guy who I play is shown off.
That's the thing that always fucks us off about these things.
We have put a different spin on it, but it's not completely original, do you know what I mean? So I think we've done it as about as original as you can get in that format.
Yeah, man.
But I'm putting my own spin on it, because I do like watching them casting videos. Like, they quite kill some of them. There's too many of them, and some of them do better than others.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, what else could you do with that? And that's how our stuff was born. So this is the third chapter of the documentary. Again, profiles the lives of some of the industry's biggest former stars as they deal with the realities of life after porn. The event also included a post-screening question and answer session with people like Christy Cannon, Jenna Presley, Herschel Savage, Alexandra Silk, and Luke Wilder, and the series producer Bruce Wagner as well. So I'll give that a look when it goes on Netflix, because I quite enjoyed. I didn't think the second one was shit. It's just it wasn't as good as the first one. But these are getting really high profile, these documentaries now, like getting screenings like that. I mean, I know the Naked Truth guy, aka Terry Stevens, he's done screenings for certain documentaries where he's actually rented out a theatre, sold tickets to try and get it in the mainstream media, and I think that's a very good idea what he does. And this is obviously on a much bigger scale.
Right.
But it's interesting because it's nice to always bridge the gap with the public to show that as the industry we can engage and we don't hide from the hostility that can be thrown on us sometimes, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Well.
So, and there was also another good one, jumping on the back of that on Netflix, called Sex for Sale. Don't wear black. Sex for Sale, which was quite good. That was a mini series, though. It wasn't like a long documentary.
Right.
So have any of you two seen any porn documentaries that you would recommend, or have you just never bothered?
Do you know what? Yeah, no, I've never really watched any.
I've seen some good ones, but years ago. I'd rather just watch the porn.
Yeah. I was very much. Do you know what? It's just a thing that's never really it's just kind of like passed us by. But now being in the industry is something that is interesting, so I really should watch some of them.
I think it's interesting, but I'm in the business. I mean, let's be fair about it. I live and breathe it.
Yeah.
Like everything about it. I like to know what's going on, what the fuck's happening, and shit like that. You know what I mean? So. Right, so I just want to mention itsadult.com, a one-stop shop for the adult industry, networking, events, news, interviews, podcasts, a message forum. You can cam, you can sell clips, you can phone chat, you can phone text, all from your profile. The general public are also welcome too. You can sign up to the site, have phone chat or book a webcam session with a girl, or even buy some of the video clips from the clip stores. So it's free for everybody, industry and the public. So sign up and get your free profile today. I mean, why not? You've got no to lose, have you?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Right, so it's time for Dick's Tips. Let's see what he's got for us this week. I'm always wondering, because I never know what he's got for us. He gives us a little tip on, I think we should talk about this, and I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking good idea, that.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, off on one in his very knowledgeable way, do you know what I
definitely
mean?
does, like.
But I like the way he's dry and stuff, and it's not all serious. He tells you the serious stuff, but he's got a good sense of humour and all that.
Yeah.
Like comparing my ball sack to fucking Clint Eastwood's face. It's like Fresh as Shaven, or when Tommy Lee Jones smiles in The Fugitive. You know what I mean? So every time he says that my balls look like Clint Eastwood, or they must be like that, like proper wrinkly after they come out the warm water and being shaved, and I just go, get off my lawn. Like what he does on Gran Torino.
Welcome to Dick's Tips from salaciouscreations.com. I was going to say proudly sponsored by Selena Secret, but he really does know his shit. You'll see.
Right. It's one of the most useful yet interesting sections of the UK Porn Podcast. It is, of course, Dick's Tips with Dick Salacious. Are you there, Dick?
Yeah, I'm here. After you phoned me having a shit and disturbed me.
You must be out the toilet because I can't hear the fans going.
I know, innit? Fucking, where else am I going to put a server? Stops people shitting in my toilet then. I'm going deaf in my old age.
There's no way you can cover up that you're now having a shit, because we know when you're lying now that noise is like impossible to dampen when it's above your head.
Yeah, I have actually got 2 toilets though. Posh in Wales.
So have I, and for some reason nobody uses the upstairs one but me, so I've just claimed that now no one's allowed in.
That's the special room.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's the one that I come up with some of my best ideas when I'm on the John.
That's it. And as long as you get Wi-Fi in there as well, it's the fucking perfect fucking place, like, just sit down, bit of peace and quiet.
Well, you could actually go from having a shit to watching a bit of YouPorn if you fancy the wank.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's the ultimate multitasking that we can do, is having a shit and a wank at the same time.
Mind saying that though, haven't seen that cartoon of the wanky shit demon. I wouldn't like to see what happens if you do wank on your shit if he comes out.
Aye, but if you think about it, right, you've got a hangover. What's the best cure for a hangover, innit? Excreting every bodily fluid you possibly can.
That might be the ultimate orgasm for a bloke, like having the best shit of your life. Like, one of them ones that you get what you really enjoy. And coming at the same time, that must be fucking heaven, that.
Oh, especially if you had a phantom one. You know the ones that like go around the U-bend as well, with the gravity just pulls them round?
Aye. And what about the ones where you have a phantom one and you wipe your ass and you haven't had to, and you're like, what the fuck's going on there?
Yeah, exactly, mate. That's what it tends to be, a dry one. That you spend like 5 minutes just concentrating on getting out in one fucking go, innit? And you can feel it swinging back and forth. There's never anything in the toilet, just a little stain on the bottom.
I went to see Jim Davison live once, and he called that a ghost shit.
The worst one is the Poseidon kiss, isn't it? Is when it splashes and it comes up and touches you on the arsehole. At least give me a Werther's original first, you bastard, Poseidon.
So I'm guessing you usually make a link with what we open the section up with and what you're talking about. So how are you going to link having a shit with what you're going to talk about, or is there another link this week?
Well, there's not really a link this week, because obviously last week I did actually say that we were going to talk about lighting.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the only way to capture Poseidon, is you've got the right lighting.
Oh, I see. You still managed to do it.
Yeah, I know it is. Everything's a fucking pun in this fucking thing, and an innuendo. So now this week I'd like to talk to everybody about lighting, because obviously, again, it's something that we see all the time on the internet, and it's something that could be very much improved on because people are buying the wrong equipment again.
So do you think that's probably the most thing out of production, even if you're just starting out, or even some professionals by the fucking state of some of the shit you see out there? Do you think that's one of the most overlooked things?
Well, I think sound is actually. I think it's like you buy a big, huge TV, right? And nobody ever buys a speaker system to go with that TV, do they?
No, they don't actually.
They're happy to spend £3,000 on a telly, but they're not happy to put their hand in a pocket for £100 for a nice sound system just to clear up the sound a little bit. And I think a lot of the amateur stuff that I see at the moment with the trailers that they post is sound is a major issue.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think sound overall is the ultimate one, and we'll cover sound next week. Okay. Promise, pinky fucking promise, and all that shit. But I think lighting's another one that's overlooked because people think, well, the light was on, that's good enough. And for webcam girls, you really might want to listen to what I got to say on this because this is going to help your frame rate. All right. So how to begin this right then. So typically you go down a shop in the UK and you buy a bulb and it says white. You come home, you plug it in, you turn your camera on and everything's yellow. There's a particular reason for that. Now, it's really hard to buy a cool coloured bulb in the UK because ideally they need a debit card trail on those lights. So typically the lights that you buy in a supermarket are always going to have the warm white part of it, which is going to have a yellow spectrum to it, okay? Now, you can filter that out in post-production because the opposite of yellow is blue. Bear with me while I go through this because if you put a blue filter on a yellow light, it turns it to white.
Right.
All right, and that's just to give a little bit of hint. If you are filming with yellow lights and you're having a problem with skin tones, you can bring back a more natural look by using a blue filter. It's part of your color grading. All right. Obviously, the best thing to do with that is not use a yellow light in the first place. Okay?
Don't shoot a porno in a travel lodge.
Yeah, don't shoot porn in a fucking travel lodge. But that's why it always looks shit in a travel lodge is because of the way that the lights are set up. You're going to have light switches and you're going to have horrible warm light in the room, and it can affect things like the pixelation of the picture. It can also affect the frame rate as well. It can also affect the shutter speed, which kind of all plays hand in hand together, and it's all linked to this one issue that everybody seems to have. For example, I can see the yellow in your room right now because obviously you've just got a general light. Because the wife's a cam girl, I've got a white light, and you can see, everything's smooth. There shouldn't be any pixelation.
No, there isn't.
Well,
Well, actually, I haven't even got my light on. That's the glow of all my fucking monitors before monitors on the wall.
He can't afford to turn his fucking lights on with all those fucking screens.
I don't need to. You see?
So, obviously, white cold light is the best light that you can possibly use because it's going to improve the frame rate of your web camera. It's also going to improve the quality of the web camera as well on the picture. Okay, so that's how a lot of girls are getting really good pictures, and yet you've bought the same webcam as them. Now, because I fix so many people's PCs for them, I get quite a lot of cam girls coming through. And one of the things that they're making a mistake is they're using default settings. So they're using the Logitech C920 or above, because the C920 is the gold standard of, well, practically YouTube, all the webcam girls, streamers, gamers. It's the most sought after webcam that you can get for under £50 that gives you a professional look. It gives you the TV quality. It can do 1080p. However, it can only do that if you have the lighting that can supplement that picture. Now, you'll see a lot of videos on Twitter, girls promoting their stuff, and obviously it can look overly yellow. And part of the reason of that is because they haven't got the right bulbs. But lighting's a bit of a voodoo magic. So typically, as I said before, you go to your supermarket, you buy a load of bulbs, you buy the most powerful CFLs or energy-saving light bulbs that you can find. You put them in a lamp, you start filming, and then you're a little bit disappointed with the results. However, you got a product, you want to get the product out, yada, yada, yada. But the quality's not there. So as soon as you start moving up the color spectrum, so the higher the color K rating, so typically what I'm using right now is a 6700 K bulb, which is a cold daylight bulb that I got from Amazon for 10 quid. So it's not too outlandish. It's not like buying a full softbox kit for a professional photographer. You can buy converters as well. So bear with me when I'm talking about this. Is if you go to Wilco's, okay, good old fucking Wilco's, isn't it?
Wilco's rules.
Yeah, it's like one of those shops you can go in. You can buy a lot of fucking shit for fuck all, literally. They sell lamps there for £5. It's got a nice little bendy neck on it. So you're probably thinking, well, why the fuck would I want lamps with a bendy neck? Well, for £5, you can buy 4 of them for £20. If you look on Amazon, you can find something called an Edison E27 to GU10 bulb converter. Now, a GU10 is something that if you've ever been to Screwfix, they sell daylight cold bulbs there. And you can buy them in bulk for like 10 bulbs for like £5. And they're really good bulbs. They don't get hot either. And as any performer will tell you, lights that don't get hot would probably be about the best you could get.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I've nearly had fucking sunstroke over some of the fucking lights I've used over the years when I've been on top of someone bonking them.
Yeah, because the cooler you are at a porn shoot, the happier everybody is. Because if a guy overheats, we don't like being too warm. We like being warm, right? Don't get me wrong. But we don't like being too fucking warm because it does actually have a little bit of an effect sometimes.
Yeah, she'll swallow your cum, but what she doesn't want is if you're on top of it, she doesn't want the sweat dripping off your face into her mouth.
Yeah. Just, you can spit in their mouths, you can come in their mouths, but you can't drop your sweat in their mouths.
Oh, definitely not. That's going too far, that.
Yeah, especially if she's licking your ball sack and a bead of sweat runs down your ass and, hits her on the chin. So the advantage of using those GU10 bulbs is obviously the coolness of them, and obviously they are the correct spectrum. But because you've got them mounted in a bendy lamp, it gives you positional lighting then. Now, typically, you'll hear, if you do actually do any research on lighting, you'll hear a lot about 3-point lighting and what it is. So it's obviously a light to the left, a light to your right, and a light above but behind you to bring you out of the background, which gives you a better picture definition then moving forward. So all that would be is, if you're very pale and you've got white walls, it's going to be very hard for your camera to differentiate between you and the back wall.
Experienced about this, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you think? I got fucking, like, my new coloured walls?
Yeah, that's actually quite nice, that, yeah.
Yeah, fucking, there's a reason I fucking done the walls. I fucking pasty fucking model, and it was a nightmare doing the colour grading, and it was my mistake because, unfortunately, it was on special offer, I will add, but I ended up buying mushroom colour paint because I thought that would be a nice balance. Only it was exactly the same colour as a model I was shooting. So you can imagine the nightmare that we had bringing her out of that colour.
Who said that?
Yeah, exactly. If she hadn't blinked, I'd never have found her again. World champion hide and seek. Should be like that army guy in that film, Robin Williams film, fucking Toys. You know, the one who fucking appears from fucking nowhere all the time?
Oh, yeah.
But that was the importance of doing that, you see. So obviously, you need to bring out yourself from the wall. So if the wall behind you is brighter, obviously that'll create some sort of differential for the camera to actually pick you out, and it give you a better depth of perception then for your videos, okay? There's types of lights you can get. They can range from very cheap to obviously very expensive. I'm only going to really cover the cheap, if I'm honest.
That's what you're about. All the tips that you've been giving people since the show started has always been affordable tips that give you good results.
Yeah, exactly. So, I have got studio lights, I will point out, but I have actually started using a new type of lighting, and it's actually working really well for me. They're actually outdoor security lights that I've altered a little bit. But for £20 for a 30-watt one, which is the equivalent of a 400-watt bulb, gives me a nice flood fill light. And I've got lights to go at the side, and I have what I like to call my 10-watt pussy light. Now, I got these all on Amazon because, obviously, again, it had cool daylight on there. But they're LED, so they don't get hot either. And obviously, they're waterproof as well, so no spunk can get in them and burn on the bulb. Because I dread to think what fucking spunk on a bulb probably smells like, if you haven't noticed.
Oh, it smells like bleach on its own, never mind when it's hitting a light bulb.
Yeah, exactly. So this is keeping it within an affordable range for everybody. So I've covered desk lamps you can buy for £5. I think work lights are quite well as well, because you can get tungsten titanium bulb work lights. You could pick those up for about a £5. They come with a free bulb, but you would need to swap the bulb out. Now, however, they are sold as white light, but they still have a yellow hint on them. So you can buy a heat-proof blue filter on them, and that will obviously remove the yellow from it and giving you the natural white light. With the LED lights that I've got, I've just obviously had to do a bit of research because I did actually have a problem with them. I won't say they are the perfect solution. There was a slight green tinge to everything.
Right.
Okay, now I commented earlier that the opposite to yellow in color editing is obviously blue. Now, the opposite of green is magenta.
How do you know all this though, Dick? Have you just read this somewhere? Because you can't exactly see colours, can you?
Well, just between us now, right? And I'll leave it as just between us. I just got lucky because I was pissed off for trying to edit it, right? And I just stuck a solid colour in there. It corrected it. that was magenta.
Yeah.
Then I actually did some research on colour grading and that. And there's not a lot of stuff out there about what the opposite of green is, you see. You can always find the opposite of yellow with the blue. But finding the opposite of green was actually a bit of a challenge. It confirmed it for me that magenta was actually the opposite of green, which brings the skin colour back and it gives you a nice pinky hue to the skin.
Right.
Makes it look a little bit more natural with all the white light in the room. So, yes, they're not perfect, but yes, there was a way around it. Now, obviously, if you're using a good camera, obviously, I'm not talking about a web camera now, I'm talking a bit more upmarket. So if you've got a camera where you can actually play around with the settings a little bit, and it actually has some settings for a white balance. The cameras, you can actually null and void that out to start with inside the camera. Whereas other cameras, obviously you can't, you're restricted to whatever the auto settings are. So it depends on what sort of camera you have. But if you do have the option where you can actually set the white balance and obviously eliminate it, as we've touched upon before, the higher quality footage that you're working with for editing gives you the best result overall, because there is only so much we can correct. There is only so much we can smooth. There's only so much we can track, so on and so forth. Okay, so investing, if you are going to be doing content for yourself, again, this is all part of the investment in yourself, is look at some LED lighting. Obviously, I'm using outdoor IP6 rated ones.
Are they not hot, the outdoor ones then?
No, they're cold, mate.
Okay, no.
I even got my knob out and stuck it on top of the glass when it was turned on, and it didn't even fucking feel a thing like.
That's a good test, but a brave test.
Yeah, you got to fucking try these things, like, innit? I mean, Christ, I'm almost 40 now. It's cheaper than Viagra. And it wakes you up in the morning if it did burn. But no, they don't even get hot, so it doesn't warm the room up, and I think that helps create a nice, comfortable environment for people to work in, you see, when I'm filming them. So it gives me good results on the overall, and obviously it still gives me the flexibility of a muted color for me to later on bring the colors up then as part of the editing system. Okay, so again, this is literally just lights I got. I paid £22.80 for the 30 watt. I paid about £11.99 for the 220 watts, and for the third one, which was a 10 watt, I think I paid £8 for it.
That's good, like.
Yeah, so I used the 30 watt one to light up the room, and then obviously for the focus lighting, I used the 20 watt ones to light either side, because I don't like shadows in my work. I know, do you like shadows in your work?
To be honest with you, I'm not really bothered, like, either way.
Oh.
If they're too bad and they're like really big shadows separated away from your subject, that does me head in a little bit.
Looks like some sort of fucking demon fucking gangbang, all fucking queued up in the walls.
See, bro, I'm used to like claws and things coming out my demon cupboard, so I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but if you had a downstairs toilet in your demon cupboard, could you actually have a shit in there? Because you couldn't have a shit in mine. You'd have a headache in 5 minutes.
No, definitely not.
So, overall from my investment, I think I've got a pretty good bag in there, because I've got my pussy light, which is the 10 watt, to light up the pussy area, so there's no shadow, so I can get some really nice, clear close-ups. And then obviously I've got my flood fill lights then on the left and right, and I got my main fill light for the room then, is part of my 30 watt. Now this is around about 1,000 watts of light power. However, I'm not using anywhere near that. I'm just using just under the equivalent, obviously, of 100 watts. So the electricity bill's a lot cheaper as well, and they don't get hot, and it keeps the room nice and cool. Because I'm actually one of those people that cared about my models.
Well,
I don't know why.
No, you and me both. If you treat them right, then good word of mouth's better than the reputation on how good your work looks, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, they'll keep coming back to high quality content at the end of the day. And to be fair, I know, like, giving information like this away creates a rival. But I'm quite happy to have a rival, because it makes me push harder for myself to do better quality work at the end of the day. So I've always seen that as a good thing, is pushing myself to move forward and by other people being able to do what I can do.
Yes, Dick. Another podcast can come along as a potential rival to make you do better.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
All the fucking things that we've got fucking going on at the moment. Stay tuned for fucking even more expansion.
Yeah, we're taking over the fucking globe of audio, aren't we?
Yeah, taking over the globe of audio. We've got a back catalogue that we can also saturate as well.
Yeah. UK
So,
Podcast Classic coming in your
yeah.
ears. Have you heard my new catchphrase when I open the show now? The UK Porn Podcast coming in your ears.
Yeah, literally coming in your ears, because then we're going to hit more platforms. We got more streaming platforms we can hit as well. So, you know, it's all about pushing and pushing. And that's one of the things that I don't like about the porn industry at the moment is nobody pushes.
No, they don't. They just put up with, if it's satisfactory, it's like, that'll do. And one of the things, without going too much into it here, is I've been changing my style recently, which you've been witness to. And part of the worry is, am I selling out and cheapening the brand? Now, the answer is no. I've finally come to that conclusion. There's a way of making it work without making it too long-winded. But I'm always striving for the perfect scene, and I don't think I've ever done it. And I think if you keep searching for that perfect shoot, you'll always better yourself, you'll always get better, and you'll always never stop learning. But a lot of people are just happy with, that'll do.
No, I don't like that'll do. Sometimes I've had to learn to accept that'll do now. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Yeah, but that's in rare cases where you haven't got enough time to do anything about it. But if you have, then you can't just leave it, can you? I can't.
No, exactly. In like one of the, if for any long time listeners now, probably have noticed that we have a running theme joke going on. If you're gonna film with a mobile, you film it in fucking 16.9 or fucking widescreen. Stop filming in fucking portrait, right? Because all we can do with that is color it in a little bit, chop it into like a normal video, and maybe put a blurry background of the video stretched out behind it, just to create some sort of fucking effect. Like,
well, and it makes the editor who has to deal with that stupid shit physically sick.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing a fucking gorgeous looking girl doing stuff, right? And it's filmed in fucking portrait, and as soon as the action starts, you can't see her. And you know, if your fans will buy fucking portrait stuff, by all means, film portrait stuff. However, you might not always be in the scene, you see, so we have to keep retracking the whole fucking video to make it fit, okay? And that's why we keep moaning at you all to film in widescreen, because it makes our lives easier to give you better products.
Well, and if your website isn't portraitporn.com, there's no fucking excuse.
I might nick that. I'll travel the country with my fucking Nokia 3310.
Google domains, only a tenner.
Oh, that's amazing, Google domains, isn't it? Fucking, that's it. Yeah, that's another bit we're going to have to expand upon as well soon. And I will cover that one day as well.
So much to look forward to. This fucking Salacious Creations, Dick's Tip section's not slowing down anytime soon, is it?
No, because I believe in making it affordable. And, you know, this is it. When you look for help, people will always tell you the highest end equipment to buy. Of course it works if it's that price. You're buying it to work at that price. If you know more about what you're actually buying, then obviously you can find stuff for better prices. I mean, that's the whole point of these podcasts on my section, is we've covered computers, how to get parts, what graphics cards to buy, hard drives to buy, how to get a cheap computer. You know, what would you rather, you know, if you have listened to any of the stuff that we've covered before, what would you rather, a £200 laptop or a £200 desktop that we know about that, you know, we'll eat it for breakfast?
I've already recommended one of them to somebody today.
Yeah, a couple of girls have actually bought them.
Quality?
Yeah, so and their quality has actually improved as well, because they're not spending ages waiting for things to render out. I think that's the bit that people, or newbies, okay, I think you've learned that obviously your time is worth something. My time is worth something. I think with newbies, they just put up with like how much time they actually lose with that. So to take your stuff better, obviously, it's all about improving your time. So, yes, you can still put the effort in, but being able to do things a lot faster and get them out a lot faster gives you more of a life.
Oh, definitely.
And then there's a lot of resentful people in this industry.
No, I must admit, especially when they come out of it and then they look back and they go, what the fuck was I doing? I mean, I realised that for myself before it was too late.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's what I'm trying to get across as part of some of these. I mean, we've covered the lighting now, so you know to buy 6700K bulbs. If you're going to use those fluorescent bulbs, but you're going to have to buy them from an online retailer because you're not going to be able to buy. You might be able to buy them in a photography shop for a high markup price, but on Amazon and Screwfix, those sort of places, they're going to be your key places where you can actually buy a lot of these bulbs and change the entire color spectrum of your lighting to give yourselves higher quality at the end of the day. I mean, a webcam should not be this sharp as you're looking at now.
I must admit, like, I mean, considering you've only got one of those lights in your living room, in your bedroom office on, you're perfectly lit.
Yeah.
There's no shadows. I mean, even when you lean forward, you know, like now the top of your head's like perfectly in light because you're directly under. Now, when you lean forward, you can still see it perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the joy of it, because obviously the light does bounce off things as well. That's the other thing that you need to be taking account of, okay? If you can afford £1,000 lighting setup, as we've touched upon before, go ahead and buy yourself a £1,000 lighting setup. The quality is going to be through the roof, you know. Just make sure that it's not a warm colour, because people have been stung. They've bought really expensive equipment and it's the wrong type of equipment. A lot of people, I think, are buying photography, portrait, you know, lights for portraits, that sort of thing. Now, I've always viewed porn as it's portrait photography, but in widescreen.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd think like, oh, it's professional lighting kit, I'll go buy that, and then you're not happy with the results. It's because you might have bought the wrong color spectrum. So always, please go for the cool or daylight spectrum bulbs, okay? The 6700Ks upwards, okay? The higher up you go, the more it costs. But that's about a nice, happy medium, because obviously you'd have to do a lot of, if it was too cold, you get a very blue picture. You know, when I first came on tonight, that's because I hadn't set the color balance, the white balance. So that's why it was very, very blue, because there's a lot of blue in this light. So, you know, that's just to give an idea for people, because obviously I just had to add some yellow to this picture that you're seeing now. Shame you all can't see it, because you'd all be like, fuck, this guy should get his nipples out on webcam and ask for fucking tips.
I think that's enough to fill our heads there. I hope everyone's been making notes, and I hope everybody's taking notice of this. And just tune in for next week's Dick's Tips, where we'll be talking about, what do we say?
Sound?
Sound.
Yeah, we'll talk about sound, innit?
Yeah.
All right. If you do have any questions you'd like to ask me, obviously feel free to drop me a line. It's just at Salacious Create on Twitter. My Twitter is advertised as part of this bit. I'm really approachable, and I'm quite happy to give you some help to get some cheaper equipment that'll give you a massive boost in your quality. I don't see that I own the information inside my head, because I have to learn it from somewhere. So, you know, I just pass it on.
And you're the most reasonablest person price-wise as well. Like, because you sound so professional with the advice that you offer. A lot of people might be thinking, fucking hell, he's going to charge through the roof, but you don't.
No. Basically, I've done a few cam girl bits. I'm really cheap, actually. So all you're really doing is buying me a couple of beers for my time.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean,
that's it.
I mean, that's the ultimate payment currency to a guy is fucking beer. So we happy, aren't we? We're over the moon with that.
Yeah. No, I don't charge very much at all. Even my editing, I don't charge very much at all for it. As long as the quality of the content, I can get it done quickly. I'm not going to be very happy if I give you a good price. I see the content. It takes me 3 days to edit like a 5-minute clip.
Yeah, and it's like this.
Yeah, and it's like going from portrait to fucking landscape in digital fucking zoom.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't ever digital zoom. Just walk closer to your subject.
Yeah, because once you start seeing those pixelated squares, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's it. We can't do anything about that.
Dick's Tips shopping list now, you're talking.
Yeah. You'd be full of fucking dildos, mate.
Right, well, thank you, Rich, for informing the masses as usual, and we'll see you next week.
No problem. Remember, girls, don't buy shit.
No, definitely do not buy shit.
It's that Welsh sense of humour, man.
Fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't know about you, right? Like, I remember when I first met you in the pub, James.
Right.
And I was talking about, obviously, you know, when I stole you for myself and kept you from the business and shit.
Yeah.
I had, like, a fucking evil plan in that. When we were talking in the pub and, like, you know, we're asking things, because you've got to ask these questions. Like, I said, like, because obviously, you know, I could see how hairy you were. Like, no offense, like, and I thought, well, he's got chest hair and that, and I haven't got any of that. So I'm thinking, what's his fucking ball sack like? So I remember asking you, do you shave? Because obviously, no one looks like a gorilla on a porn set.
Aye, true.
You know, and then you were like, well, I trim them, but now you are going completely. I've noticed.
Well,
Not that I've been paying.
Hey, no, that's not even. Like, I don't shave with a razor.
What do you use them?
I just like use one of them fucking Philips body groom
I tried
things.
one of them and I nipped one of me fucking
Oh, do you know
ball
what?
sack skin in there and it fucking kills.
I've done that a couple of times.
I'd rather take a wet blade, it's safer, honestly. I never cut myself. But you see, my...
Choose a face razor.
Well, yeah, that's
face
what I do.
shaver.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
But see, my trick is, if you do it every day before the stubble, it stops getting itchy.
Yeah.
And your skin gets used to that. I never get like shaving rashes or anything.
Yeah,
like a
see,
bit
that's why, because I have shaved in the past, but because it's like kind of the first time you do it, you get that fucking awful like shaving rash, and I'm like, oh no, I can't be asked to go through that like a couple of times before it becomes normal. And I'm so fucking lazy, like I wouldn't keep on top of it. So
He's
so,
really,
like,
really into Nerd Pervert and he loves doing the work, right? But he's not going to dedicate that much time in the day to his
Lazy
fucking man
bastard.
bush.
yeah. So nah, just like the body groom thing, like it gets it pretty close. Like obviously, if you got a fucking shit, what was that thing? Like a
Philips thing.
no. I was like a magnifying glass. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
I was
You did
magnifying
in my head, I was saying microphone. No, you don't do that. The fucking magnifying glass.
No,
like,
the,
you can see the heads.
the microphone would sound like this on your balls.
Ah, it would like it would.
So, yeah.
But I say it does a job. Like you thought that I was shaving. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I honestly did, yeah.
Well,
See, the
exactly.
thing is, right, like, I shave my balls
Yeah.
and the top part of my dick, and I leave, like, a little line, and then I leave the rest of the hair, because if I do completely wet shave everything away,
Yeah.
I do get a shaving rash at the
Right,
top,
yeah.
but nowhere else. It's fucking weird, isn't it?
Aye.
What about you, Craig?
I just did it because it's meant to make your dick look bigger, but hey, how
You don't fucking
Yeah,
need
you don't
that.
need to fucking do that.
I was over the moon when I first shaved. I was like, fucking hell, it looks
It's
massive.
twice
Yeah.
as
Like,
big.
I was fucking
I
over
just
the
don't
moon.
like really hairy, like down there. To be honest, I don't think most lusted would like sucking on like.
Yeah, but do you
balls
not
and
think
that
that's
as well,
porn getting in the mainstream? Because, like, everyday people who don't star in porn do that because they see it a lot when they watch
but-
it.
yeah, they would. But I just did it before even watching
See,
porn.
that's
really.
porn getting into society.
Oh.
There's a classic
I
example
just don't
of
like
that.
hair like that. I never really have.
It's like it's going the other way now.
Personal
Well,
opinion,
with
innit?
women,
Yeah.
like there's definitely a lot of hairier bushes out there
If you
nowadays
trim it
compared
or
to.
have styles, and that's not bad. I like it. I just like it on women, not on men, but that's because I'm straight.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh,
You know, I
sorry.
worry about you sometimes because you go so out your way to tell us that you're straight.
I'm definitely
I-
straight, guys.
I think
honestly.
I think you're fucking hiding something like.
I
'Cause
know, it's
we
the
don't.
best way, innit? To keep it hidden.
We honestly don't fucking care whether you're straight or not.
I might just go and
It's like someone else I know.
James-
They're not fucking gay. Every time you look at them, we just say that, don't they? Oh, fucking gay. And it's like,
It's like,
they're just really sexy girls with a dick. And it's like, yeah, I fucked them as well. Like, I don't know what you're on about.
James, get me that old man's number from your shop.
Hi.
Oh, he's up for it.
Yeah, I know he's.
Pop in.
Never comes back
Both
in.
of us.
I can have your number, mate. Oh, so you want some? No, it's me, mate.
Scare him off.
I'm your fucking mate wanted. Hey guys, I'm Paul Taylor, your everyday nerd. I'm here to tell you about my reality show. I like reading comic books, hanging out with mates, and going to the local pub. But I chat to girls and convince them to get naked and do casting videos for a job that doesn't exist. My camera lady Scarlett Grey just goes along with it to get paid. So go to nerdpervert.com and watch all 8 seasons now. Nerdpervert.com, your very own Nerdflix. Right, so another industry news bit of news. Is that a term?
A news bit of news.
Yeah, like the other
What's
was
the news?
The other was news. This is news. Bit
Is
of
this
news.
new news?
Yeah. Well,
Fuck.
this just popped up on my phone, so this wasn't planned, right? UK delays age verification system until April, right? Now it said the first quarter of next year,
Right.
and XBiz are just reporting on it, so I'm guessing that's the first quarter of the year. But it says Minister Margaret James told members of Parliament today that the government once again must delay age verification for adult content. According to reports, said that the AV in the UK should be enforced by mid-April. Ministers earlier insisted that age checks would be up and running by the end of the year, but final legislation will only arrive in the House of Commons next month at the earliest, she said. We can expect AV to be the force enforced by Easter of next year, and I make that timetable through the knowledge we have laid the necessary secondary legislation before Parliament. James told the panel, I am hopeful of getting a slot to debate it before the end of the year. We have always said that we want to permit the industry 3 months of getting up to speed with the practicalities and delivering the age verification that they will be required by law to deliver. We have also had to establish with the BBFC, which has become the regulator, and that they had to consult on the methods of age verification. So it has taken longer than I would have liked, but I would balance by a confidence that we have got it right. Once mandatory AV is up and running, adult websites will have to provide their own verification software, which will then have to meet standards and checks carried out by the BBFC. That's interesting. Before I read on, let us read that back again. Adult websites will have to provide their own verification software.
Right.
That's technically an answer to a question that I've been asking since I heard about it, which is nearly 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Were they going to government approve a certain age verification system or systems? So in other words, these 5, one of these have been government approved.
Yeah.
You have to have this on your site. Being now saying that we just have to have our checks in.
No way.
Now that is not as easy as said than done. I'd rather pick one, because then all of the back end, all of how we take the checks, how we store, get rid of the data is already done.
Yeah.
Because if I had to keep a database server in my office, I mean, I'm not in charge of NerdPervert in that sense, so it would never fall on me. But if I was, that would be a bit worrying, because like, what if I'm not complying with like the GDPR laws and I don't know I am? And then someone hacks my fucking server.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's a data breach, which... So I hope that's a misquote, because I think that would make it more dangerous, where at least if there was government-approved age verification systems.
I can't imagine it would come in without there being some government-approved ones.
There has to be.
Exactly.
I mean, like, you have to use government-approved age verification checks on fucking gambling sites. They don't let you... They don't let fucking Casino 888 fucking govern their own people, because they would just fucking take backhanders, wouldn't they? I mean, that's not really helping things. It also says that the panel said that the issues of social media have taken longer than hoped. She said a deadline to speed up the removal of harmful content on social media is among the measures being considered by the government in a bid to protect young people. They warned there are some grey areas of which is deemed illegal content and which is not, which is expected to be addressed in a white paper this winter. Well, what a pile of shit. They're very vague on this type of thing, aren't they? Like, come on.
They're always
We, as an adult industry, want to work with the UK government, right? We want to make the internet safe, for, you know, so minors can't access porn, and we want to work with you. But don't come in and not know what you're doing and expect us to fucking follow suit when you fucking haven't got a clue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least ask us what our opinion is, and we'll give you our feedback. We should be in Parliament with them, saying how the business works and coming to a mutual agreement.
Exactly.
But they don't want to engage with us, you see. It's just fucking stupid. It's just rules being made up by like people who don't know the business. Yes, the government officials and the people who set laws, they have to do that. But leave the how it works with the business to us and let us inform you.
I thought they were well experienced, because all these politicians end up with porn on their computers anyway, don't they?
Of course they fucking do. They're always getting fucking caught.
Exactly.
Fucking, the dicks up sheep and everything. You know what I mean? There's always some dodgy fucking story going on.
Just all this stuff, like, at this point I'm sick of hearing about it all the time. It's always fucking delayed.
Yeah.
And
it's never gonna happen. It's just to scare
everyone
you.
just has like a million different like thoughts of like what it is gonna be, but like no one knows anything until it actually happens, and it's just
still,
I just want to know what's going on when it
still
actually
gonna be like,
fucking
But we hear the
comes
same
into
thing
effect.
that's been worded differently. That's nothing that we haven't heard before.
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound like they still know what they're doing.
Nah, they don't. Like, It's just frustrating.
I mean, it's all right for you though, like James, because you've always acted under the BBFC.
Yeah, true.
With the R18 content that you sell in your shop, and this is just the next step. This is the web version. But like we were saying off air, it's a big fucking job policing the internet.
No, Christ.
Jesus Christ. I mean, seriously, you really need someone like fucking Neo, and the technology doesn't exist where you can plug a fucking human's head into it and be on a fucking night shift of fucking trying to just find fucking dodgy shit. Because, like, how can... I just don't think the BBFC is big enough. But the last government quango to get the go-ahead to do this type of thing was Atford.
Right.
And that was fucking Pete Johnson. And he was ex-BBFC.
Alright.
And we told him to fuck off when he asked us to put the BBFC online scheme on our fucking sites. He came to a UCAP meeting and everyone was just like, well, is it mandatory? And he was like, well, no, but if you have the BBFC scheme of approval on your website, it'll tell everyone that you haven't got virus and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, look, where's this fucking coming from? No porn website has a virus on it because the web hosts that we pay don't want their servers infecting other people's servers that people are paying to host websites, so they handle that for us. That doesn't even come into the adult business. And they said, so we don't have to do it. And they're like, no. And they're like, right, well, fuck off then. And then he came back with that. So, you know, his head got bitten off and he fucking grew another one.
Yeah.
Don't think he's at the BBFC anymore. So if he isn't, I wouldn't be surprised if he is, you know, and he's getting the final fucking laugh. Do you know what I mean? Apparently he's a nice fucking guy, but I'll tell you what, he's a brave guy to stand up when Atford had the set of rules and he stood up in front of the whole adult business and told them how he was going to make us, you know, follow these new guidelines. Fucking hell, honestly, I don't know how people didn't fucking chuck a chair on him or something. Because there was that you could have cut the atmosphere with a knife. It was really fucking... And that was when Gin slipped. That's the last time we were seen in the UCAP meeting.
Alright.
When we told them it was coming in. And nobody believed anybody in UCAP because they thought it was scaremongering. Nobody wanted to know. And then the minute Chris Radcliffe at TVX said it, everyone was like, oh fuck, what we're going to do? We can't do that. And I was like, well, we just said this 3 months ago. Why did you believe in him? So that was a bit weird. You know, we weren't just saying it just to fucking make people run around like fucking headless chickens. We said it because we knew it was coming in. And Jim Slip just went, I'm just going to tell them to fuck off. And he got up and he walked out. And that was it. Moved to fucking Thailand after that, never saw him again. Well, apart from you, fucked his wife a couple of months ago.
That was fun.
In that fucking weather, I bet it fucking was.
Oh yeah, fucking
I bet that's when you started getting the fucking beard trimmer out on your balls, was it? I bet you didn't bother before there.
Pretty much.
I can't remember.
Hottest fucking day. Yeah, that one as well.
Oh, fucking hell. And there's no air outside or indoors, so you can't... Oh, can't be arsed. I'm not fucking in the sun.
Definitely the toughest shit I've had yet.
Yeah, I bet fucking...
I was fucking dripping with sweat by the end of it.
Fucking hell.
Global warming. Fucks up porn.
Right, let's go into our chat with Millie. Lovely Millie Santoro, and let's see what she's got to say. Now, obviously, I'm asking these questions in this section. I already know the answers because I know really well, but obviously, you know, people who listen don't, so take a listen to this. Right, I'm joined here by Millie Santoro. How are you doing, Millie? All right?
You all right, nerd? What's going on?
Not bad. Thank you for agreeing to talk to the UK Porn Podcast. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, obviously, I know who you are. I mean, come on, we talk all the time, don't we?
Yeah, all the time.
But for the benefit of everybody else listening to this, can I start back at the beginning and ask, how did you actually get into the adult business?
Well, it was kind of by chance, to be honest with you. Someone had given me an offer like a year before, and I pondered it for like a year. And then I thought, might as well just give it a go. And I just jumped in. I met you really early on, innit, luckily for me.
Yeah.
At the beginning. I got put in touch with Strictly Models and Daniel and that crew. And met you, and yeah, it's all been wicked ever since. I haven't got anything to complain about, really. I love it. Love my job.
But it's weird, though, because that day that we met, I'd already met Daniel for the first time as well. Now, obviously, me and him were aware of each other, but we hadn't actually met, so he was actually through Devon, really wanting to meet me because he was like a fan of the stuff that we did. So in the space of 2 hours, I met him and then got introduced to you, and you were like a model who was just hanging out on set, and you'd been doing some stills or something that day, hadn't you?
Yeah, it was my first. I did my first solo that day with Gaz. It was wicked. He said I looked like I was going to throw up on his shoes and do a run around the bathroom window before I started. But yeah, no, once I started doing it, the nerves went. It was all wicked.
But isn't it weird how, like, obviously you got that nervous with obviously doing a solo shoot, but then when you jump straight into boy girl with us when we cast you for Nerd Pervert, you were fine, weren't you? Like, if you were nervous, you didn't show it. Where obviously they said that you could tell you were nervous on the solo shoot, but you couldn't tell you were nervous at all when you were with us.
Nah, I've got we were so comfortable and close with each other. Do you know what I mean? You're like my bestie. I've got like so much love for you. And that's how it should feel. It should just feel normal, shouldn't it? Like, you shouldn't be made to feel like it's weird or anything. Like, it should just be how it's been, which has just been amazing.
Well, the best thing is when me and you work together, though, we like see it as a double opportunity to like do some work and come out with something productive, but we also hang out and catch up, don't we?
Yeah, we always find time for a softy moment kind of thing. Like
yeah, we do, don't we? Yeah, I always call it my Millie time, because we always just even away from Scarlett, there's always just this little me and you time that we manage to grab somehow, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I always manage to get kisses off of Scarlett, so it works well all round.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously you had quite a busy year in your first year, but it's been over a year now, hasn't it? Is it a year and a half or something?
About a year and a half now, yeah.
Yeah, God, that sounds like ages ago, doesn't it?
I know. Gaz said a few years ago, I was like, have I missed a year and a half somewhere? But no, yeah, it has gone really quick. And I've got loads in, although I haven't done as much as what I probably could have. I worked at my own pace and I've enjoyed it.
Well, I think it's wise, though, because obviously I don't ever like assume I can tell a model at what pace to work at, because everybody's different. But the model has to decide that for herself. But you, in my opinion, did something really wise where even though you were getting offers from all over the place, I wouldn't say you were picky, because that's not the right term.
Nah, I wasn't. I was just cautious about what I was getting myself into, because in my own personal time, to be honest with you, I hadn't done a lot of the things that I was being asked to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go and jump the gun and get involved in something and look lost. So I tried my best to rein myself in and know what was right for me. Do you know what I mean? They say work for your levels. Well, you said don't ever go and do an anal shoot if it's not something that you do in your own time.
No, definitely.
Because how are you supposed to prepare yourself? And do you know what? I had a funny experience the other day with a butt plug, right? And I definitely wouldn't advise it.
But you see, the thing is, it's like I always say that about like anything to do with any girl, where if you've never tried it off camera, don't try it on camera. But some things are easy to try on camera for the first time. It just depends how comfortable you actually are. But the main thing is the production company or persons that you're working with have to be happy with your decision. So if it's a no, you just drop it there and then. You don't try and talk anybody into it, because there's a fine line between talking people into it and persuading them. And I think it's just a line that should never be crossed. You've always got to respect the person who feels uncomfortable about a certain thing if they do.
I agree. I do agree. You've just got to stick close to what you feel comfortable with, and everybody's completely different. And I don't think people sometimes get confused and think that means you're judging them. It's not that you're judging them. It's just that you personally haven't experienced that yourself. Do you know what I mean? So it's not even to say that they might not get into it or anything, but initially everything's kind of a bit of like, wow. I mean, getting into the porn industry itself was a bit like wow in itself. So, like, going on to be asked to do gangbangs and things was a bit beyond my. It was just a bit beyond my remit at the time.
But like I say, it's probably something like a lot of things that you weren't prepared to do at the time. Some things will be flat out no's like forever, it's just not your thing, and some things you'll want to build up to. You know what I mean? Of
course, yeah, most definitely. And I think it's in the destination isn't what it's about. It's about the in between to getting to where you need to be. So I'm enjoying that whole thing of getting there, learning, finding out what I do like, what I do want to do, some things are just personal. Other things, do you know what I mean? You do want to share with everybody and you don't mind. I'm a bit of a naturist, so it really doesn't bother me, that side of it.
But that's what I like about you, the fact that you've sort of gone in like level-headed with technically not having to be told to do that. You've just gone with the flow, and if you get a good vibe, you do it, and if you don't get a good vibe, you don't do it. And I would say everybody should do that, and they should never feel. I mean, from a new girl yourself, well, obviously you're not so much now, but when you were, like, would you say to new girls, like, always just do what feels right, and if it doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to speak up?
Yeah, 100%. Do not put yourself, like, because at the end of the day, it's just you that's going to regret it. So when tomorrow, when you wake up and you're thinking, oh my God, I wish I never did that, don't put yourself in a position to ever feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, just, do you know what I mean? Be real to yourself. Like, it's not, don't feel the peer pressure of because they're okay with it, that you've got to jump down and do it. Like, everybody's different. And they like how you respect them for their levels. They should respect you back, innit? You shouldn't be made to feel, yeah, never. Like, and even if it's the other way, like, if you're, some of the things I do, some people say like they're really extreme and that, and I giggle because I didn't realise it was that extreme. But each to their own, and like I say, I would never try and force someone into do anything that wasn't right for them either.
Well, I think that's like very true. Like, I mean, did you feel when you were new that you did have a lot of work offers that people just sort of were maybe surprised when you said, thank you very much for the offer, but no thank you, I'm not quite there yet at that level? Like, do you think they were surprised? Because I feel like a new girl's like gold dust when they first come in, and I don't think there's any malicious intent, but I just think people get carried away and they go, well, she's new, so we've got to get her first doing this, and her first doing this, and her first doing this, and let's get 20 guys in just to fuck her, you know, like, and you're like, whoa, hang on a minute, she's new, leave the girl alone. Do you know what I mean?
Let her find her feet, man. Or because do you know what, you do get bombarded by all these. Do you know what? Even not even so much the agencies. I found it very daunting in the beginning to be approached by fake agencies. So even today, I've just been approached by a fake person, and it's just like, again, because now obviously I'm aware to it. It doesn't bother me so much because I kind of pick up on the tricks really quickly, so I can like iron them out. But in the beginning, I was wasting a lot of time on fake accounts, and like, it's ridiculous. Imagine these girls that don't know the tricks, and then they end up turning up to these shoots. What would happen even? Like, will they air them, or will there actually be someone there that's gonna, I don't know, do something? Like, have they got, like, what's their MO in it? I don't understand what their whole motive is.
Well, I mean, that really scares the living shit out of me, the fact that there's people in the business. I mean, the thing is, some of them can be really, really convincing. We've had it recently where there was a girl who contacted me and said, is this you? And she sent us a forwarded email from an email address, paulduskfilms@gmail.com. Well, that's not my email address. And they were offering £1,000 for half an hour's work, right?
Yeah.
And they said they were in Durham. That was scary. We've had impersonations before, but saying our location where we were based and that you'll be filmed by my partner, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you know, but you can find that out just by watching the show. You know, Scarlett's the partner in crime of the nerd, so it's not really hard to find out. But anyway, the weird thing was, he kept pestering her every couple of days saying, look, there's limited spaces on this type of work, and if you don't say yes or no, you're going to lose out on £1,000 for half an hour's work, and not many companies are paying this, but we nerd perverts, so we can afford it. And I was thinking, bloody hell. So anyway, she sent us another email and said, oh my God, they'd contacted us about 2 years ago. And it went into me junk mail, and I didn't realise until recently. So anyway, she forwarded us that email, and it was actually me. So I must, but I'd obviously forgot. So I must have contacted her, and then didn't get a reply because obviously it went into a junk mail. And then coincidentally, this fake company 2 years later had contacted her. So I said to her, I says, right, I said, the wording of the email from the Paul Taylor Does Films email address, the fake one, actually says, for half an hour, I will be fucking you and coming in your pussy. You don't talk to people like that. So,
no, you don't.
And then I said, right, read that one that went in your junk mail. That's actually from me. And look at the difference in how we come across. And she was like, oh my God, yeah, I can see what you mean now. And I was like, but I had to spell that out. So I'm not saying she was a bit dim or anything, but like, it was clear as day to me how different the wording was between the
But
real
then
email.
that's what you're trying to say. Like, to be fair, yeah, you see, like, it's not saying that she's a victim or anything, yeah, but what it is saying is that the girls in the industry aren't clued up enough because we're not told enough, we're not educated enough about, there's not an A to B list of this is how to behave or this is how to check people out, or do you know what I mean? Like, you're addressed to these situations. And luckily I was in a group with people who I could ask for, or I'd met you. Yeah, like I'd met people in the industry that I could go to them and say to them, is this the correct account for Ian, or is this the correct account for Seth, or do you know what I mean? Like, are these real people, or am I being led down a one-way path? Like, today I had A Huzzies contact me, and I laugh every time it comes up because I think I would love to be contacted by you, but it's not gonna happen. Like, this email from this person who is pretending to be you is just a joke. But then what happens if someone takes it for, they think that it's a fake and it's not, and it's really the company?
Yeah, but the thing is though, like the fake ones out there. I mean, even if the girl turned up and it was just some sad wanker trying to get sex off like a porn star, right?
Yeah.
Like, people know who Danny D is, right? So if you turned up for an A Hussy shoot because you fell for it, and then he didn't pick you up from a train station or something,
of course you would be stupid enough to let it go any further. But that's what I mean. What is their MO? Is it to are they wanking off over the fact of they've got you thinking that it's them, yeah, and they're like a catfish? Or is it the fact that you would turn up to the train station and there'd be no one there? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's what's the MO? They're obviously getting off on some part of it, but what is that part that they're getting off on? Like, I always try to work everyone out. So
but
it does my nutting.
I'll tell you what's weird as well. There's a lot of fake model accounts who contact, well, I'm going to say us just because I'm speaking from my experience, but it must happen to a lot of other people. And you always seem to get maybe 3 or 4 stills that were probably taken minutes apart in different poses. And every time you ask for more pictures, you get the next set from that set as if that's all they've got. And you get the vibes like, this is just a fucking guy that's messing about. So obviously I like to video chat people now on WhatsApp before shooting, because you find that even if they are genuine, they're more likely turn up if they've spoke to you and they sort of can put a face to your name. And some of the ones who won't speak, I always say, well, look, I can't take this any further. We get a lot of time wasters. My time's very valuable and it has to be protected. So if you can't give me what I'm asking you, I'm just going to assume that you're either not interested or you're a guy pretending to be a girl. And there's a few people who will pretend to be a girl who doesn't even want to be a model. So, for instance, an ex-boyfriend who's like been dumped or cheated on, and he's still got pictures of his girlfriend. So he'll think that's funny to get his revenge on her by, applying to work for a porn company. But obviously there's laws against that now. It's called the revenge porn law. So they're not going to get very far with it if said person finds out and goes to the police. But so if they won't video chat, and I think there might be a slight chance that they could still be telling the truth, I always say, right, this is the last thing I'm going to ask you, and if you don't follow through on it, it's the end of a conversation, because all you keep going on about is, do you want to set a date? But I'm not setting a date without either video calling you or you're doing this last thing. And they'll go, well, what's the last thing? And I'll say, write on a piece of A4 paper, nerdpervert.com and today's date, and take a picture of yourself holding it up so I've got at least a different picture to the ones that you've sent us. And I never hear anything from them ever again after that.
So this person is just, sorry to stop you there, yeah. Like, just literally, as you said that, this message has come through. So this has all happened today. Yeah. Hi, Millie. Are you based in London? So I'm actually entertaining them now a little bit, yeah, to try and get into them to see, well, how far would you even take it, yeah? It's probably silly of me, because I know I'm not going to go. I'm trying to see what they're even going to say. So I was like, I am. And he said, will you shoot with Danny D? I was like, yeah. He's like, excellent. Are you available on the 30th of November? For a 2-hour shoot at 4 p.m. I said, what's your number? He said, could you provide me with your contact number and we can liaise all the details for the 30th of November. If you are unavailable, please let me know. Like, it's actually quite scary that somebody would want you to hand over their details. I mean, obviously, it's silly because I've got a work phone and I've got a personal phone. And My work number is available to everybody. Just go to adultwork.com/Millie Santoro and you can find my number. If you want to like bombard me with any kind of anything, I'll just change it. And you can get it again and carry on. Like, if you're going to have haters, you're going to have haters. Or if you're going to have people that want to do this random stuff, you're going to have that and you're not going to be able to get away from it. But I do think it's random. Like, how this person has been doing this to me from the beginning, so you can't even get rid of them. Like,
it is weird though, isn't it? I mean, as if like, what have they not got something better to do with the time?
Yeah, what is your motive? Or like, I get catfishes all the time. The other day, I had a guy, really nice looking pictures of this guy. So this poor guy, he's probably a really nice guy out there, works really hard for his physique. Someone's stolen his picture.
Oh, bloody hell.
Bless him. And they're trying to use his profile to get at me. And at the first, they're being really nice. And then all of a sudden, they're like, fucking die whore. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, really? Like, what is, like, you fat slag? And I'm like, oh, really? Like, what is wrong with people? You've just wasted your whole day to get through to my phone to then end up doing that. Like, what?
I honestly don't understand. I mean, it's like the Twitter arguments and shit that you see where the business squabbles with each other. It's like, you'll never see me ever engage in any of that, because it's right up there to me with people who pretend to be people they're not. Like, I'm not saying that's on the same level as someone pretend to be a producer, but what I mean is the effort that goes into pretending to be a company when you're not, and the effort that goes into argue on Twitter for hours on end instead of working hard and putting that type of energy and time into something positive.
You know what? No,
I don't understand it.
I have to say, yeah, I've been caught up in some things that weren't even nothing to do with me, yeah, because I'm kind of like, if I see something that I think should be right, and like, I just say what I think, yeah, I'm one of these people, and if I'm wrong, I say sorry, and I own up to it. But I learned something today, yeah, and I think it's a really good thing that I learned, yeah. Like, you're worth the limitations that you're arguing for. Like, are the limitations of the arguments that you're arguing for, are they worth it? Do you know what I mean? And no, they're bloody not. And walk away, yeah? Two things I learned today. And if you put both of them together, it teaches you great things. Like, you can't fight another argument unless you walk away. And to be fair, a lot of these arguments aren't even worth fighting for. They're people that don't warrant your time in any way in the beginning. You shouldn't have even given them, like, I do see that some arguments should be argued. But at the same time, is it for me to argue that point? Or, like, do you know what I mean? Realistically, are they going to learn their lesson? Yeah, they're going to learn it some way or the other. Karma is a bitch, unfortunately. And you don't always have to be the person to lash them with your words or however you want to, like, cut them. Do you know what I mean? You can just, let them get on with it. Nasty people, they're nasty anyway to the root, isn't it? So they just mess themselves up. No matter which way they turn, they end up messing it up. So you don't need to help them in that. Like, with these people, unfortunately, it's like they will get caught out, like, before any harm does normally come to it. But there are sometimes it's going to get to a point where you wouldn't have wanted it to have got that far, because, like, look,
well,
the outcome was horrendous.
It's like I always say about the business, like, obviously, you know, you've got to be thick-skinned. Now, I know personally, we'll not go into personal things about you, but like, you're physically really, really strong person, especially with some of the shit you've been through lately, and that just proves that you are cut out for the business, because the business will never knock you down as badly as what's happened to you personally over the last couple of days and stuff. But I will say that you do have to be mentally strong to be in this business, because that's why, like, people always say to me, why are you so humble, and why do you not realise that you're a talented person in the industry? And it's like, well, because when you do it every day and you're just doing your thing, you don't know it's good, because you're just doing what comes natural to you. I think to say that you're talented is for other people to say, not the person directly.
See, we had this conversation because I was like, no, I've sat on a year's worth of content and I don't know what to do. Like, I even know that Fake Taxis, like, put it out. I know that you've put a couple of them out, and I know that anyone else that I'm sharing this stuff with is putting it out, but I just can't sell it myself. Like, I couldn't bring myself to. And you was like, get over yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether it's bad or whether it's good, you can't be the judge of that. You've got to put it out. And since I've been doing it, it's kind of like freeing, because you think, blimey, at least, like, you've got the opportunity for people to see what you're doing and what you're putting your time and effort into, and there are going to be people who will like it and people who hate it. So,
but that's why I remain neutral on it. Like a lot of people would be really happy over the positives, and really upset over the negatives. And I always think, well, no, don't be upset over the negatives and don't be happy over the positives. Just be neutral about both, because why should you believe you're good if someone says you're good, and why should you believe that you're shit if somebody says that you're shit? At the end of the day, right, you've got to work as hard as you can and do work that you believe you want to be a part of, and then whether people like it or not is beyond your control. So there's no point in worrying about it and holding back, thinking, well, what if people don't like it? I better not do this, because that's just silly. It's not productive at all, is it?
Of course, no. I ended up, I don't even look the same as the stuff that I was doing last year. Like, I've completely changed, but I'm putting it all out now. But
well,
yeah,
good.
No, to move with the times, do you know what I mean? Like, and when you actually do that and you've got the faith in yourself to do that, things move a lot quicker, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I always say, right, like, I look back over, like, Nerd Pervert season 1 and 2, and sometimes I cringe, like, not necessarily at the story or the character, but, like, I'm just such a better filmmaker now than I was then, but that's progression, right? So, like, I could go, oh, fuck, I just want to delete all of that because, it's embarrassing, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you've got to think, no, that's showing my progression. If somebody starts watching season 1 now, then
they wouldn't get it.
They're going to take season 1 as it is because it's new to them, and they're not going to realise by season 8 I'm 10 times better than that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got to remember that every video that someone sees of yours might be their first video, so they don't know whether that's your best work or your worst work. And if they like it for what it is, then great. If they don't, well, you've lost the sale, but big deal. I mean, nobody really knows if you're going to do something, is it going to be a success? I mean, look at Nerd Pervert. It's everything you shouldn't do in porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never followed any of the rules. I've never done anything that everybody else is doing. But for some reason, people can see that it's original, at least, if anything. Even if they don't like it, they can see that it's something different. And I think that's what part of its success is.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't feel like that at the time, though, when you're taking the risk and the leap of faith at the time, and you don't know what's ahead of you. It's a horrible feeling thinking, oh, I haven't stuck to any of the rules in porn. I've just done my own thing, and people's going to fucking hate it because it hasn't got this and it hasn't got that in from that site. And you start to worry, but you've just got to go with it and go, right, I've worked on it as much as I can.
People always say, like, oh, what do you, like, I want to get into porn, and do you make loads of money in that? Yeah, and you can, but it's a lot of time, effort, and money that you're putting into yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously it is a business, but it becomes your own brand, isn't it? So you're just building, you're constantly reimbursing everything into it. So it's a lot that goes into it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't understand some models, and we'll mention no names, but some that really want to make a go of things, and then when it doesn't happen, they blame something else when you can tell it's apparent they haven't put as much effort in as what they should have done.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like, I'm not saying buy state-of-the-art equipment or anything like that, but if you're buying equipment to make your work better, that's an investment in yourself. You're not wasting money.
Yeah.
You're literally investing in yourself, and if you can't invest in yourself to make your work look better, when you do get some money to be able to invest in it, then you don't really deep down believe in yourself, because you've just basically said that by your actions. You know what I mean?
From the get-go, it's always about improving. For me, I could never make the visual the way that I wanted it and the way that I knew I could have got it. But it's always getting there, slowly getting there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a working process. You can't like, I don't know, they just make me laugh that they think they're going to get in, they're going to do a few shoots and I don't know, they're going to be rich. It's about putting it into you. Like, you can do that, but it's not going to, it needs to take off. Do you know what? I'm just going to have a go, yeah? Sorry, Nerd. Are you having a fucking laugh that you can't open the back door? I've got a skivvy and he can't even do as he's told.
Oh, God. Melly Skivvy's live on the UK Porn Podcast.
Here we go. Sorry, mistress, I'm thick, yeah? Look, I just watched it open the door. Tell them. Sorry, mistress.
Sorry, mistress, that was my fault.
Yeah, that was exactly your fault. I was trying to signal with my head to go open the door. And he's like walking around with the set of keys in his hand. Absolute pleb.
Bloody hell. So, going back to when you first started in the business, was there anything that really stood out that you thought, oh my God, this is what makes me love the business? Or was there, and was there equally something that stood out where you go, I wish that wasn't in the business because this is what's making it like not as enjoyable?
Oh, yeah, I think working with you in the beginning was hard because I think the reason you say that, oh, we get on and that's why it goes so well, but I think it's because of the way you do it. Like, because it's so professional, but in a caring kind of manner. Do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of weighed me up when I was talking to you about what I wanted to do, and you wouldn't have, if anything, you tried to talk me out of it and into it because you wanted to make sure that it was right.
Yeah.
That kind of confidence in what you're doing is really good. I think that was amazing from the beginning to have that level of, and then like to want to try and strive to do that kind of production, to be up with that. Do you know what I mean? Like having, when people come to me, have them leaving thinking, oh, I would love to go back there. And do you know what I mean? Like it's all round, it's wicked.
So what about like anything that you wished like wasn't in the business that might, like where you could see it would put somebody off if they weren't strong-minded, for instance, like you are?
Bigger companies are quite harsh with it, aren't they? So I think you have to be kind of prepared with that. Separate the whole fact of, like, obviously with you it's easy because you're because you was professional and I could see you as a friend. It was like you felt the respect level, so you've got to respect yourself. Do you know what I mean? To be strong.
Yeah.
And stand your ground. Otherwise, you could kind of get lost doing things or having an image that you may not necessarily want to stand by in the future. And I think that can be easily pushed on people. I think that's a bad thing. Like, I don't think there's enough people that are trying to actually work out what does that model want for their career rather than this is what they can do for my production.
See, but I don't think that makes us special. I think that's just common business sense that, like, why would I want somebody to possibly still be able to do something but not really be into it, but I want it for my scene? So as long as they've said, well, I don't love it, but I'll do it because if that's what you want. And I'm just thinking, well, I don't want that because that's going to show in the video that you're not into it. So why even put your company through that?
I've done something that I wasn't fully into, and I can remember asking you, I was like, oh my God, I'm dreading it. And I swear we was both looking out for it when it came out because I didn't have nothing to do with it. And I was like, oh my God. And then it come out and I was like, oh, I can actually act better than what I thought. It actually looked cool. But yeah, doing things like that, maybe early on is when you're not really too sure of what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a lot more, I feel a lot more certain about the parts of the industry that I want to be in. And do you know what I mean? Because I'm, like you say, if you're not going to go and do an anal scene unless you do it naturally, then that should stand for everything, innit? Like, if you're not experienced in any form of the industry, then in your own personal life, I don't think you should just jump headfirst in.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example of why I do pride my company. Not on the work, not necessarily, I'm not saying our work's amazing, I just mean how we treat people, right? So we had a model turn up and she's quite well known now, right? But she wasn't at the time. And she said she did anal, right? Now, I always let the models say whether they do or not. I never ask for it because I know there's I would say 40 to 30% chance that girls will do anal, right? And so, you know, it's going to be a big chance it's going to be a no. And because that's not like a really big thing that we do, and it's usually a rare treat to our fans when we do, because it is so rare that new girls would do that type of thing, we don't bother even mentioning it. We rely on them to tell us. But she said she did anal, so I just said, right, well, you know, would you be happy doing an anal scene? And she was like, yeah. So anyway, when we came to do it, she says, if I don't relax or I can't relax, I won't be able to do it. And I was like, right, well, we're not doing it then.
Yeah.
And she went, oh, no. I says, no, wait, I'm not getting annoyed with you. I'm literally saying, if you can't naturally do it, no, you're not doing it. As far as I'm concerned, you're not doing it. We can always get you back should you be able to do it even more. But please do one thing for me, because I know what other companies can be like. Take that off your levels list until you comfortably can do it without fail, because not every company will be as understanding as that. She says, yeah, but I still want to do it with you. And I says, yeah, but I'm not comfortable because I know there's a chance that you might not be able to do it. So I don't want to do it with you because you come before the work that we do, and that's the way we treat people. It's our company like ethos sort of thing. Anyway, 2 weeks later, she was getting fucked up the ass by a fucking 13-inch cock, right? And I just looked at Scarlett and I was like, is there something wrong with us or something? Like we were understanding, and she probably would have managed it that day and it probably would have went fine. But there was just something where I thought, no, this girl isn't ready yet. She's new to the business, and just because she's done anal a couple of times in her life, with possibly different sized dicks where sometimes she's been able to do it and sometimes she hasn't. She's put that on her levels because she thinks that's going to increase the success level. And it's like what you've done, Millie. You start off and you build up to things, and there might be some things you never build up to.
There might, And I don't, do you know, like someone said to me very early on in the beginning, it was like, just be comfortable in your own lane and enjoy your own lane. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't try and compete with nobody else, because at the end of the day, be proud of everybody when they achieve. That's what you're supposed to. Like, I'm proud when you win an award. Do you know what I mean? Like, but to try and compete with somebody that does something that, okay, if it's okay for them, brilliant, and if you enjoy it, wicked, go for you. But not everybody's the same, and I wouldn't try and do. Yeah, I definitely couldn't. I really couldn't. I had this really funny. The other day, do you know what? I'm just going to tell you now, yeah? I tried to pull the butt plug out, like, just put it out there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I bruised my arsehole.
Bloody hell.
Like, my whole arsehole was bruised. I didn't realise you have to actually pretend to, like, plop it out, yeah? And then it's got, like, it had sound effects and everything, nerd. Oh my God. I wish I could beatbox right now. I'd tell you how it was, but I can't.
But I'll tell you what though, it's like you did one thing on camera for us for the first time, and you can back me up on this, right? It was a girl scene, wasn't it? Now you chose that you wanted to do that. So obviously we did it, but how many times did I double check that it was all right? Because I was,
you did.
I kept saying to you, look, this is your first time on camera. I wouldn't maybe do it first time on camera because this could go wrong. Now you did amazingly well, and you were pushing me. Oh no, I'm definitely doing. I definitely want to do it. And I'm like, yeah, but just remember that I don't recommend anybody do anything first time on camera unless you've experienced that in your personal life.
But and you know what I will say, saying that like it's good because there are people that do work like that. I've got a shoot booked in for next week, and it's with a girl. And, you know, like, I haven't really done much girl, so I was a little bit, like, beating around the bush with it. Yeah. And she was like, oh, if you just want to take stills, we can. I was like, it's up to you. She's like, if you want to do full-on girl, we can do that. I was like, well, I'm not exactly going to say no, am I? But sometimes I just think I put my foot in it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's new to me. But I've realised you can be exactly just with the girls as you can with the guys.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean...
I was well nervous in the beginning. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think it's just because, like, I don't know, I never had sleepovers where you got fondly with your friends and started snogging and all that. Like, what happened at my sleepovers?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's like, I think, like, I get new girls... like contacting me all the time, and sometimes I don't even end up shooting them, but they get the exact same advice as they would get if I did end up shooting them, because I just think, well, look, you know, if they're not going to pick me and it's their choice, you know, I mean, I personally think we are the best company to shoot for if you're a new girl. I mean, that's just because we've got 7 years experience working with new girls and not expecting them to know everything about camera angles, and we teach them step by step, and at the end of a shoot they have done a proper porn scene and they might not have known a thing about it when they first arrived.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I still treat the people we don't end up shooting the same as the people who we shoot. Yeah. They get the same advice, and if they say no, it's because I've been honest, and it might not sound appealing to them when they find out, the family could find out, or it's going to be all over the internet, and they didn't think past doing the porn scene. They just thought, oh, I want to do porn because it's something on my bucket list. And then as soon as I go, well, what would you do if your parents found out? And oh shit, I never thought of that, you know, Paul. Actually, no, I don't want to do it. Hey, sorry to waste your time. And
them before it was too late, isn't it? Rather than
But people still think I'm stupid when I do that, because it's like they say, well, if they want to do a porn scene and everybody's seen a free porn scene on Pornhub, they have to know that because they've seen now on the internet, the porn scene that they doing with you is obviously going to be on the internet. Why did we not think this? Why did you have to spell it out to them? It's like, because some people literally do not think. They just literally think about the
But even now, I still like the girl that I'm going to shoot with next week. That's my point. I was saying she's not been pushy. Yeah, I don't like people who make you feel awkward or pushy. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you're not too sure about what you're doing or that part of the industry that you're going into, people should take a bit of caution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that you don't have a bad shoot. Do you know what I mean? I've seen girls that have had bad shoots and they're like, oh, I don't want to do this ever again. So.
But you've said to me in our private phone calls before, like, obviously mentioned no company names, but you've mentioned that they weren't as, like, well, not professional as us, but you meant like they didn't have all the conversations about the build up to it, and you didn't feel like you knew them like you knew me before you came to us. Now, the thing is, the things that we do to get people to, well, trust us in a way is like something that we go the extra mile for. But I'm not saying the companies who don't do that are in the wrong, because some companies just haven't got the time. And to be honest with you, most of the time I haven't got the time to do it. But I still rather spend the time fully informing somebody about what they're about to do, because that makes my day with them, if they do decide to do it, a lot easier.
I've got a girl coming to stay with me the end of this week for a night, and we've been on the phone for about a month chattering away to each other, and that's what I prefer it like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you don't have all the time, but you try your best to get as much conversation as you can in, because it's work that you're doing together as well, so you want it to be as good as it can be. I think all the shoots that I do, I try to do them in wacky locations, and I try to like get on with people.
Wacky locations, you mean like a digger?
Yeah, a digger or a curry house.
I absolutely loved that clip that you sent us. It was, and the thing is, your funny personality still came out. Like, it was supposed to be horny, and I'm not saying it wasn't, because I saw my friend Millie just saying like, I'm having a dig on a digger. I was just laughing my head off. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's really funny.
I do get myself up to all sorts. I love it. But yeah, no, it's good when you can work with people and they can help bring that out in you. Because in the beginning, I was saying to you, like, oh, I want to act and I want to do accents. And can you remember the things I was saying to you? Like, I really wanted to get involved.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, but the thing is that's why the minute I had a cancellation, I mean, I normally don't get people in that quick because I'm usually booked up 3 months in advance. And part of us was wanting to ask you when I got a cancellation, which was only 3 weeks after I met you. And then part of us was going, oh, no, well, if she takes it the wrong way and just thinks, oh, she's like second choice and, you know, like I'm only fitting her in because I've had a cancellation. But I thought, no, fuck it, I'm going to ask her, because I could not get that out of my head that you were saying everything that I wanted to hear without you even knowing what I wanted. And it was all based on the acting. And I picked that first over the porn elements because I'm very story driven in the way I approach me work. So the fact that you said I wanted to act, I was just like, oh my God, like I wish every model said this, because
I'm sure we'd thought of the part by like the first week of knowing you. I already knew what I was going to do when I got up to you.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I mean, a lot of people on the tube sites who've seen like some of the preview clips for advertising to get people on the site have like really commented and praised the scenario that we created. And the thing is, you know, it just gelled perfectly well together. Like your personality, the storyline, and then the way you handled it. I mean, the way you first walked in and started looking around as if you felt like you were on a film set. You know, it was funny, but also like, it was also like, you know, if you were really a fan of this guy, then you wouldn't want to autograph, you would want to suck his dick.
Yeah.
And that's the way you approach it. That was your way of getting an autograph and a photo snap with a celebrity to you. That was like your ultimate goal.
I have people messaging me saying to me, because I do domination bookings, but I don't do escort bookings. And I have people messaging me going to me, I want the nerd treatment. And I'm like, the nerd treatment, I'm not quite sure. Do you want me to stalk you? What do you want me to do to you? Do you want kidnapping? Or do you just want them sloppy jalopies? I think it's the sloppy jalopies, man.
I just think it's funny. But the thing is, like Devon Breeze, when we first shot her, I mean, we've shot her loads of times now, but the first time we shot her, she played a councilwoman. And the amount of escort bookings that she's had because she does
Yeah.
escort, where
Yeah.
she has to dress as the councilwoman.
Yeah.
And you just think, fucking hell, just because they've seen it in the porn scene. I mean, it could have been anybody's porn scene, not necessarily mine, but just something about that dominating, bossy, bitchy type,
Yeah.
woman that she played in that scene was what they wanted in terms of an escort booking.
I think that's funny as well, yeah. All my exes always used to say to me, you look good angry. And I used to be like, it's the worst time to tell me that, like, you're horny for me because I'm fuming at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, that's not going to make you get anything.
But right now, that's how I earn all my money, just being angry at men. So that the look must do me well.
Well, no, but the thing is, it's like, I see you as like a sweet, lovable, affectionate,
I
bubbly,
know.
and fun person. But, if you can do that, it's just an act. It's like, I'm not really...
It's just another part. Innit?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not really a sleazeball who cons women at the porn, but, like, I play quite well. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it is just an act for the sake of, that's how you make your money. It's like, if you're
I
good
think
at something...
that was my favourite bit when I go to Kitty. Like, go on, he'll make you famous. And I hand her the dick. Like, I was so
Yeah, yeah.
into character at that point.
Well, I like the bit when I got my dick out and then you were like, hold on, and you made us pull my pants up. You're like, you're not conning us, sit back down and start again. I was like looking at the cameras as if to say, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, this woman's mental.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love doing the stuff with you. It's absolutely wicked. All of them. There's not like one that I've even enjoyed more than the other. They've all been wicked.
Well, one thing I like about it, and I don't know if this has been like either down to the fact that I know what I'm doing with the brand, or you're such a good actress, or whether it's just a fluke. I honestly don't know. But the reason why they're all good is because there's a really good progression every time you turn up. It furthers your story further.
Mm-hmm.
And builds on what made the last shoot fun, and we build on it, which means that it does actually go somewhere. It's got somewhere to go to sort of continue the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's been wicked. Like, yeah. Do you know what? We've had so many ideas that we haven't done even. Do you know, like, we've spoke about so much. I love it. And every time we get to an idea, it just gets better off of all of the ideas that we pull out. And then we end up with something crazy.
Like, if we weren't doing the podcast, people need to hear us when we're on our own going, yeah, and then I'll come in and I'll say back and you'll go, yeah, and then what I'll do, and we're like that, aren't we? And then it just comes out.
It took me the other day, I think it was like, a whole day and night to listen to one voice note, because in between doing everything, I had to keep going back to it. Like, I was like frantically listening to the voice note. Like, it was so amazing. And then when I responded to you, you was like, I can't even remember what I said.
I tell you what, right? I've got that many WhatsApp groups at the minute, but mainly with models, that I do like to speak to them, because I cannot be asked to type out when they ask us a question about, so what do I expect, Paul, the first day I turn up on a shoot? And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm just going to voice this. It's going to be easier. And nearly everybody who writes back is always grateful for the detailed explanation, but they're like, wow, that was a really long message, but thank you, Paul, for being so detailed. I really feel like I want to do this now that you've explained everything. And I think, are they trying to save our fucking talk all the time or something? You know what I mean? But like, they're always happy that I have gone to that detail, but I don't think they're expecting it.
I feel so privileged that I can come to you and ask you stuff, like technical support and that. Like, I feel really privileged. Like, I may as well be a nerd myself having you on board. Like, this is wicked.
But one thing I want to say about you, for anyone who's listening, is a lot of models who do content share, they don't tend to have the ideas, and they just tend to sort of plummet along saying, right, there's a blowjob video, there's me getting fucked in, blah, blah, blah. And what I'm really impressed with about you is the ideas that you've got. Like, if you can put them on screen, even though it'll never match what's in your head, because even my scenes don't match what's in my head. It never lives up to your own expectation. But you just try and do the best that you can. And I look back over some Nerd Pervert scenes, I go, oh, fuck, it still doesn't look like what I imagined in my head, though, but I'm still happy with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've got ideas, and that's the first step in you shooting your own content where you can sell. That's outside of working with us to sell what you do with us, but your own ideas as well is important to have your own ideas, and a lot of models don't have that, and you have.
I do love, I've worked with, luckily, I've worked with Sensei on quite a few different shoots, but on one of them, we've worked together a few times already, but he come in and he was meant to be someone I didn't know, And halfway through the scene, I still remembered in my head what I was doing, yeah? And I'm screaming like, I don't even know your name. Like, I'm always constantly trying to act that part of whatever I'm trying to do. I just love it. Like, I love just, yeah. I love messing around with ideas and having a giggle with it. Do you know what I mean? It's fun, man. It's so much fun.
Well, that's what I love about exploring things. Like obviously, I know if I think of an idea, you'll give me some input back, and that makes my day easier. But I don't get it very often because a lot of models are just quite happy to be told what to do, and they'll do it, and they'll do a good scene, and we'll get a good episode. But it's all on me. I've got to fuck them and direct them and worry about the camera angles all at the same time. But when someone like you comes along and we bounce off each other, no pun intended, and like we do come out with like good ideas together, and I'm always grateful for people who just take that extra effort. But some people just haven't got the ideas, which is fine. So it's not that they're not putting the effort in, it's just that they just literally just go, well, I don't know, Paul, it's your brand, what do you want us to do? Do you know what I mean?
My slave's a bit like that. I keep saying to him, like, just beg or something, like, or come on now, you need to prove to me, say stuff that's going to prove to me that you're going to get that done. And he's like, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, oh, just winds me up.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like it's so popular now, like someone being dominated by like a woman and doing all the chores and stuff like that. But it's just one thing I like don't understand. It's like, you know, like the pay pigs, like when someone's happy to get paid £1,000 a month for a job and draw it out and give it to the girl, and that's their king.
Do you want to ask him? He's sitting right here. He gets £1,600 a month. 1,000, yeah, about one. Come here. He gets about £1,600 a month. I take at least £1,000 of that off of him every month, don't I? Yeah, and on top of that, he pays my David Lloyd gym and all of the petrol and everything until he runs out, and he's like literally chuk, 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 boom. But ask him what you want. Come here. Go on, talk to Nerd.
Hi, you're right.
Oh yeah, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad.
You're live on the podcast, do you mind?
Be polite, won't you?
Yeah, of course, for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
That's great, honestly.
Yeah, so why do you do it? Go on, tell him. Why do you give me all your money every month? And do all my chores and all my runnings around? Why?
At the end of the day, it's kind of just worth the reward at the end of it. I don't know. It's just always something I've kind of been into.
See, he's supposed to say because I'm the goddess of the universe.
Oh, there's punishment coming now.
Because he worships the ground I walk on. And what he just said as well.
Well, Millie, I worship the ground you walk on, but I'm not doing the dishes for you.
Yeah, I know, right, babe? And I make sure that he does it properly, because if he don't, he has to do it again and again and again. My thing is, do it right the first time. Do everything properly. Everything. From start to finish, do it properly. And I won't have to come around and beat you, will I? And he don't want to beat him, trust me. He offered himself up for 500 lashings right now. I found this one hysterical. So I thought I'd go easy on him, yeah? I could have made it really, really, really bad, but I didn't. I said, for every one you can't take, you're going to give me £1. So for every one he couldn't have forfeited, £1. He took, how many of it was it?
182.
He took 182 lashings. He paid me £318, wasn't it? Yeah? Yeah, in cash on top of the booking. Because, yeah, because he couldn't take them. And he offered himself up for him. It was so weird. But it was like fun for me. Fun mind fuck game.
So obviously you're in the adult industry, as we've been saying, and that's how I know you. So when did you first start getting into this and realising that this is something that you could actually do as like another revenue stream sort of thing?
Daniel said to me, after you, I was going to go and do something that opposite to this. And Daniel was like, be careful, once you do that, you're kind of like known for that, and it's a one-man band kind of thing. And although I don't believe that, I was kind of glad that he did say it. So I was like, right, let me give Domination a go. And yeah, I just built this character, and yeah, it's just paid off, to be honest with you. So it was kind of like, you know me, yeah, if you give me any chance, any part to play, I'll give it a chance and try and give it my best shot. But yeah, so it was just by luck. Like I could have been, because I can act, like you were saying, I could have acted sub, and like I wouldn't have necessarily maybe liked the levels of it, but I could have acted like I was cool with it. Whereas this, I'm 100% certain that I enjoy what I do. Do you know what I mean? I've learned to love it. Like, I'm still learning every day, but it's wicked. Do you know what I mean? Everybody around me in this side of the industry, in the fetish side, seem to be like really warming and welcoming, and yeah, everybody's cool. It's fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's like we did a podcast last week on the show with Selena Secret, and one of the bits of advice she gave to new models was the fact that if you do seek advice of other models, if you're new, just be aware that whatever they tell you, they are your competition. So you have to take everything that they say with a pinch of salt. So I'm not by 1 minute saying all models are bitches and they're going to tell you the wrong stuff. But you've had that though, haven't you? At parties, you taught me that certain girls were trying to give you advice, but it was almost as if they were putting you down.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you what you should be doing. They taught you what you are doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, although like you have to take it with a pinch of salt in it, they're quite brash with it, because you don't really if that's all you hear from them as well. Do you know what I mean? They're not very like you get all kinds of different girls in the industry. A lot of them are really nice, I have to say. In the beginning I was too scared to talk to all of them, because I was like, oh my god, do I really? And then I started talking to them and I was like, oh, they're actually just really cool and normal, like, and lovely girls. But then, like you say, yeah, you do get a few that, I don't know, they're on their own little mission.
But you see, I always find with people who do that, or even do it even just on Twitter, not even to your face, they tend to, the things that they pull you up on, I always feel is the things that they're insecure about themselves and they project it onto other people.
And I think as well, like, I like to be a realist. Like, we're all gonna have things like that. Do you know what I mean? So better that we admit them, try and learn and be better as we grow, and help the people around us with the things that they're struggling with, rather than put people down, or, do you know what I mean, try and suppress them or make them feel alienated because of your opinion.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, some of the advice that you got off certain people could have been said in a totally different way.
Yeah, of course, most definitely. And luckily that I don't read into everything. Do you know what I mean? I don't take everything literal. You can't say something and I'm gonna go and run and cry. Like, you can say whatever you want. Do you know what I mean? It's freedom of speech out there. And I appreciate that. So it's nice for people to say their opinions, but at the same time, someone else might not have dealt with it like that.
Well, but say your opinion, and it can be as harsh as you want if that's your opinion. But when it's done in the context of that they were trying to help you and they were doing it, that's very counterproductive, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but no, nobody wants you to be any better than what they are, really. Do you know what I mean? They want to help you, but they don't want you to grow into your own form of greatness. Do you know what I mean? Whatever that might be, however great, or it's all down to you. Like, when I was younger, I wanted whatever I wanted, I always got. But I realised that I didn't want enough. And yeah, it's about what do you want and what are you happy with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else can make you aware of any of that. You could go and say the money's going to make me happy, but by the time you get all the money in the world, what did you feel when you was left there? Or, do you know, like, unfortunately, one of my really good friends the other day, who has just had major success, lost somebody on the weekend and they died. And I was just like, oh, I really don't know what to say to you. And I feel so sorry for you. And my blessings go out to you, but nothing I can say can make it any better, because, yeah, the realness of what you miss out on and what you sacrifice for it all life is deep, man. The better that we're all just like nice to each other and try and help each other through bad times, I think, is better.
Well, it's like when I first started out, like 17 years ago next week, believe it or not, right? Obviously Content Share wasn't around then, so you had to pay for everything. And obviously when you didn't have any capital, I never go into debt, I never owed anybody a thing, and I built it up from scratch, where I saved however much it was for a shoot back then per month out of a normal job so I could start to build up content. And luckily I've got the best friends in the world, the ones who aren't in the business. I mean, the ones that were my friends before going to the business. And the amount of times I used to socially just miss out on nights out because I had a shoot the next day and I didn't want to get hungover, or if I went out, that meant I didn't have enough money for a shoot this month because I was so focused on that if they weren't such good friends, they would have stopped asking us to go out, even when they knew the answer was no all the time. They still used to ask us.
I agree. My best friend, even the other day, she invited me out, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna really try and come. And she was like, do you know what? Even if you don't make it, it's cool. Like, I understand. Like, I'm just telling you that, like, the invitation's always there. And I was like, oh, bless you. Like, do you know what I mean? She really doesn't hold it against me because she really gets it. And like you say, it's a blessing to have people around you that get it like that, because it takes like all your effort and your time, your money, you're putting it all into creating something like, for yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Like content, a lot of the time I'm really lucky. Like, I've had locations that I wouldn't have been able to probably pay for them or blag them in other circles. So I've been really lucky. And yeah, I've got to put it down to luck. A lot of it is, I think if you're nice, people deal with you just in a way where they can only, if they can, and if it's not beyond what they're okay with, then they'll help you. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm really happy with one of the other nerds on Nerd Pervert, because he works at a sex shop, and the shop's agreed to let us film in there when the shop's closed. So that's going to be cool. You know what I mean? We just need to find like the right story and the right girl. I mean, that could be even something you could do next time, because you will be stopping over anyway, because that's the only problem.
Oh, I would love that. I would so love that.
Like, it's 8 o'clock at night, you see, so if it was someone who didn't know us, it doesn't matter how much of a good reputation we've got. If we asking someone... If we're asking someone to come up here that late and do a shoot that late, it's a bit suspicious, isn't it? So it would have to be somebody who knows the circumstances, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. And we was going to do it in January anyway, so definitely.
So,
I'm down. If you can hook it up.
Yeah, so let's try and let's see if I can get the shop first, and then we just have to come up with a storyline, which we won't talk about now because we're not giving everyone on the podcast our ideas.
Yeah.
That's for private conversations, isn't it? Right, well, Millie, I kind of guessed that this chat would have just been me and you just talking as normal. God knows what we've actually said, we'll probably not remember.
Yeah, I know.
Just been ourselves, haven't we?
Sorry, people.
But yeah, it was still a nice chat, and obviously any excuse to talk to you, I'm going to take the opportunity, aren't I? So, but I
love you to bits anytime. You know me, I'm always here.
But thank you very much for talking to the UK Porn Podcast, and I'm sure we'll talk again real soon. So until then, I'll catch you later.
Thank you so much. Love you to bits.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
She's got like a proper sexy husky voice, hasn't she?
Yeah, I love it. I love the accent as well.
Yeah. Well, because you don't hear it up here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like every time I go down London to a fucking industry event, everyone's like, oh, the Geordies are in town. It's like, no, they're not. You know what I mean? I mean, you're a Geordie. I'm fucking not. I'm from the northeast.
But
you think I sound like one, don't you, sometimes?
A little bit, sometimes. Some of the things you say. Yeah. But then again, loads of people don't think I sound like a Geordie. Yeah. Because I've moved all over the place. So I've not really got a really strong accent.
But then you've just said...
Oh yeah, like I do
you've just
say
said
like hour and stuff like that.
And everyone's like...
Oh, how am I?
What the fuck does that mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Fuck off.
If you say any word, it's like or our down south, they're going to think you're Geordie, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they don't say any of that shit.
Well, looking at the time, we're approaching the end of the show.
Oh.
So that means it's time for James' Sex Fact of the Week.
Oh, fuck!
He's
had a worse reaction the second time, I thought it was the first time.
Well, you know my fucking memory, it's like a fucking fish.
Now you never forget where the fucking hole is.
Yeah, true, I suppose.
That's the fact.
That's about the only fucking thing I can do, man. Right, sex fact.
What's it like to be a virgin?
Right. Nah. I wouldn't have known that for a long time.
Fucking that. He was
right.
Probably knocking around with people when I was...
Did you know that 92% of all women are not sexually satisfied with their partners.
That was last week's.
Oh, was it?
Are they mostly your partners?
I thought he was making that up with every fucking word the way he said that slow. I was like, oh shit, he's just going to make up some bollocks fact.
I did.
I never said it
That's
happened
literally
to you.
what I fucking...
Well, I don't know if you got the percentage right, but I'm sure she's fucking said that.
Oh. Hey, that might have been one from like fucking years ago because I'd 100% just spouted a load of bollocks.
I'm sure it was the
That's
other week.
just
No,
how
it
many,
was.
like-
It was the other week because you said
Woman
that you
is
always
fully
give a woman
satisfied.
a fucking mosh out first, don't you, before to satisfy you?
Oh, so was last week's not something to do with like coming...
I can't remember what last week's
beforehand?
was. It was a week ago.
Who knows?
No one else will remember.
Okay,
so I think
right.
it's new, anyway.
New fact. Did you know that the average penis length in the UK is actually larger than the average penis size of Americans?
Is it? Does that mean small dick people in the UK have got bigger dicks than the Americans?
That is exactly correct. 100% fact.
I tell you what, honestly, I fucking love that if that's true. You
Yeah.
know why? Because they always think they're bigger and better than us. No offence to our America. Oh
Bigger
shit,
and
I've just
better.
said that.
Yeah, fuck you American
No,
users.
don't say that because everyone listens to us. When
Oh,
we
they're
go
all
to bed, the
American.
show loops
Oh,
on the
fuck.
fucking screen. But yeah, no, we love the Americans.
Yeah.
Right? I fucking love you. And coffee and
Americans,
everything.
that may have been a fib,
Right.
but it might
If I'm
be
British.
100% true fact.
So James has lost
So
all his American
Tell you what,
fans.
I'll leave it.
while you're
About a
saying
minute.
that,
Yeah.
there might be people, as they listen to your voice, getting the fucking tape measure out.
Yeah, probably.
Stretch
You'll
a
have
bit.
them concerned whether it's
Yeah.
made up or not. They're gonna want to know whether it's true or not. Do you know what I mean? But the only thing is, how they're gonna know it's true unless they've got a fucking British person next to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter what that fucking ruler says.
Right.
Fucking, I'm trying to think of an American
No
name.
one knows who's been measuring.
Cletus.
Cletus. Doesn't matter what that ruler says, Cletus. You haven't got a British person next to you, so you'll not know whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So fuck off.
But wasn't the average penis size in the
size,
UK
how we
something
use
like
it.
fucking like 4 inches or something?
I think it's fine.
Oh yeah, I think
I'm sure.
Oh,
I was like,
you think it's 5.9? He fucking knows these facts.
no, seriously.
I've been checking. I'm making sure
Whatever
I'm
it
not
was,
below
I
average.
was like, yes, I'm an inch over. I was like, chuffed. I remember reading that, like, and I was like, fucking get in. Because if you're an inch under, like, you can't take that.
Aye, that is bad
Depends
crap.
where you
If
measure
you're
from.
under a statistic, that's always bad crack, innit?
I just measure from my belly button.
Even if it doesn't touch your belly button.
Aye, it's
just
one of
where-
them
that's
things-
where it should be, so I'm measuring from there.
You measure it on the
That's
top
what
and you're dead disappointed, so you're like, "Dad, I'll measure it underneath. Oh, fuck
Oh, no,
hell.
no, all you do is get your cock like that, right? And then go like that so it touches your belly button and it
Go
still
up.
counts.
Go up from the bottom and around from the top and back over again. Definitely 14 inches.
No, when you measure yours, you said yours was as wide as a fucking dinner plate. you said.
Yeah.
So,
I
fucking hell.
suppose.
Seeing the size of your fucking condoms, as soon as I saw him get one of them out, I was like, that's like that scene in Naked Gun, didn't I say that when they said
Yeah,
in fact
you
they
did.
have sex and they just put a giant one on and fuck each other through this big fucking plastic bag, don't they? That's what I thought it was like, just
fucking
reminded us of that.
Aye, certainly
fucking hell.
never had to use a fucking extra large one, like.
So are you quitting while you're ahead? Are you never doing a fucking James Logan sex fact ever again? So we just leave it up to Scarlett next week.
Yeah, I think we probably should leave it up to Scarlett. Although, I already had something fucking planned.
Yeah, you did actually.
So,
you
I
beat
don't know,
her.
like, hey.
You're actually more professional than her. She's
we
usually
might.
caught unawares.
No,
when
no,
she
hey,
does
I'm
everything.
not on about the sex fact.
What are you on about?
That was completely off the cuff.
What are you on
Because
about?
I'm like that.
Oh, so you
I've
made
got,
that up?
I've got some. I've got a different thing that I've planned.
Alright, like what?
Well,
Don't get your dick up.
I have brought something from my shop
What is
for
it?
us to peruse.
What is it like?
Right.
Oh, I
So-
don't know about this. He's
Does this
fucking
mean-
right. This is
I know.
fucked up.
Can you
Yeah.
take it
What
back
is it?
again? Where you can just
Right.
rent stuff and we can just talk about it every week.
No, not
That's
at
a
all.
good idea.
I've stolen it from work
Right.
for
Give
the
me it back.
night.
So that means we can't get our love juices on it. though,
No,
is
we're
it?
not allowed to get our love juices on
talk
it,
about it.
but we can talk about it.
For the
So
people. Go
it
on.
is called Paco's Taco Stroker from Screamin' O. Now, what
got
do you
chicken on the
think?
front.
What do you think this is? Because I mean, looking at it, it looks like a white taco.
Do you
Like,
put, do you
what,
put,
what the fuck's that?
do you put your ball sack in it? Or
You put
something?
your dick in it. And then you rub it up and down to hold it around it.
Hey, do you know what? You can do that.
Well, okay.
But this
Does it
actually,
vibrate or
I've always wanted a taco.
it doesn't vibrate. But do you know what? A man and a woman can use this.
Right.
Right.
So
Is it
what the
Mexican?
fuck does a woman do? There's just like
looks
ram it
like-
on and
that looks like it goes between the fucking anus and the fucking
like
piss
it's
flaps to me.
It's but This has open-faced stroker technology.
Right.
So that's one of the selling points.
What, so you stick it on your chin?
You put it on your face.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
fucking
much.
Thanos has got
Stop me
lines
from
on his
slobbering.
chin like that. You look like fucking
Aye.
Thanos.
And there's some simple instructions for this. Uno, open box and remove taco and lube. Dos, apply lube liberally to the wavy textured side of the taco. Tres, wrap the taco around your meat and stroke up and down.
There we are.
Oh, do you know what?
That's me dick.
Apparently it's not for a woman. I was told that this could be used for a woman.
So you lube it up and you wrap it
I
around
was
your
right.
cock and you just use it
Basically,
like a
aye.
wank glove
And
or
then you
something.
just wank with it.
But
So
why,
It's
why
a tenner.
Why a taco?
Yeah, that's worth
I don't know, because it looks like a taco, but apparently it's meant to be absolutely fucking banging.
Hey,
Although, a
let
funny
us
thing
know
about
next week.
sex toys, like literally every sex toy, it always says intended for use as a novelty only. Like even on
Well,
really
so they-
serious looking dildos and
So
stuff.
be that scared that you're gonna prefer the item
Taco.
to the fucking real meat. But
Yeah,
they have to
who
warn
knows,
you.
man?
They have to warn you about a slippery slope if you prefer your toys.
I've just found my favourite thing that's actually on here.
What?
It's designed for righties and lefties.
Well, because it's a taco. It's not
Yeah,
that
That is
specific on it.
some
That's
fucking genius
forward thinking,
marking
that, like,
that
innit?
like.
You
Can you
shagged,
just hear the
marketing.
fucking dog ruining the fucking...
Yeah.
you shagged
he
a
always
man,
does.
you shagged a woman, now you've shagged a taco.
Yeah, pretty
That
much,
was on my
man.
list.
It's just, and there's some fucking mad shit, man.
Mind that was a shit like fucking marketing team that decided to name that though. When he
Yeah,
was
aye.
on the fucking
Tacos,
table.
They've even got a
Tacos,
picture of the
stroke
chicken on the front as well, though.
They
That's
do.
just like,
No,
that was
that's
essential.
that's a cock.
Right, yeah, that's very, well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cockerel.
So that is actually quite clever, really.
Yeah, I suppose, but...
Make love to yourself more fun.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I just like getting me fucking...
So there's a load of
around it, mate.
bollocks.
I'm old school, me. I just like the
Shit
fucking...
you, so.
pull the pigeon's neck, that's all I like. You know what I mean?
Pretty
And
much.
that'll do me.
For those who don't want to touch themselves.
It was just an
Or use a
excuse to
taco.
bring some toys from work,
I
really.
think that needs to be a new section.
Hey, it
Yeah,
can
do
be.
that.
I'd,
Yeah, do
you
that
know,
every week.
Like
we'll,
food, don't they?
we'll see what kind of bollocks I can steal from my shop and bring, and then we can
Like,
discuss.
the bigger the better. So, like, we go, oh my god, I can't believe you just bought a fucking full-size fucking sex doll in. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do have some full-size sex dolls.
Have you?
Maybe I'll leave that for
Michael.
one of the days I don't have to get the train here.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
leave it for one of the days where
You
I've
would
got the car.
look like a right twat, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like
Sat there
taking
with
that
your
on the
love
train.
doll, taking up a seat
Look,
and someone
it's for a
wants to sit
podcast.
down.
Look away. Look away.
No, it's for a video podcast. He's going to take shots of it to put in when we're talking about it.
You could just fold it up and put it in your bag, couldn't you?
What do you mean that
With
needs a
its head
ticket?
sticking out.
It's not a real person.
Yeah, honestly. It's fucking crazy. Right, well, I think it's time to say our goodbyes. I want to say thank you for listening to the stream, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed the... well, you can't really say chat.
The shite.
It was just bollocks again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always bollocks, man.
But, you know... But,
I'm fairly certain that's what they tune in for, man.
well, I think it is.
They must know.
The
It's just a load
spontaneity
of
of
shite.
bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got you can't watch because they've
Like-
missed the taco now. They're gonna want to see what this taco looks like.
Oh, I'm
Ah,
going to
yeah,
put
true.
video shots up with
Good.
the door.
Nice
Ah,
one.
there we go.
Get a
Don't
photo
worry,
and
I'm
put
a
it on
fucking
for them.
professional. We are doing a video podcast after all, you know.
Nice.
So once again, can I just remind you that if you're a company and you want to advertise with us over the 2-hour show, then email dustfilmsxxx@gmail.com to find out about our sponsor packages. You can also tweet us, Instagram us, email us your questions in the live show, and although we can't answer them directly on the show because it's too confusing and we're men and we can't multitask, we will pick random questions as we have over the last couple of weeks, and we'll try and answer some of your questions. So that's it. It's
Can I just ask if we can get people to email in about the weirdest sex toy they've ever seen? Because I've never seen a taco before, so I'd like
Yeah,
to
well,
know.
good
why
idea.
the fuck
do
not?
what Mr. Craig Coulson says. Email in dustfilmsxxx@gmail.com for the weirdest sex toys that you've ever encountered.
'Cause that's
And where's the emails? I didn't see any. I probably skipped them. Actually, there will have been some. Where's the emails about your embarrassing sex situations?
Well, to be perfectly honest, like, I can't even remember now. Did Scarlett ask for that? And she's not, yeah. So
that's probably why I said
maybe she's like found some things, but we'll have
Next week.
We'll have to get her back on next week, man. It all goes to shit when she's not here.
Depends if the fucking cough's gone. I must admit, we have been a bit fucking all over the place. Like, she keeps us in order, doesn't she?
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
it's been more bollocks than normal today.
I reckon so. Like
today's show's been a bit pants, hasn't it? but we can't do anything wrong because our ratings are so high that has got people pissing in their pants.
That is good.
So
that's what I like
it's
to hear.
always good. Like, you don't just want a successful show, you want people to be fucking scared.
Yeah, man.
At the same time. Like, oh my god, how are we ever going to defeat that? Let's ask them if they don't mind doing a show that'll work. You know what I mean? That, or
Join
whatever.
forces.
So yeah. So yes, so it's goodbye from me, Mr. Paul Taylor, most hated man on the podcast.
Well, without doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a goodbye from me, Mr. James Logan.
Cock taco man.
Yeah.
Taco man. And goodbye from me, Craig Coulson.
You're gonna do it, don't worry. You're gonna do it while she's not here. Just give us it one time. 1, 2, 3. Fuckity bye! Oh, you fucking
I've got what it was.
Right, where's the fucking stop the stream button, you cunts?
I don't know.
You love us
somewhere there somewhere.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more.